Hello, everybody. Welcome to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path, where today we have gathered in order to embark on an adventure in the Trinity Continuum under the deft guidance of Eddy Webb.
Hello.
The reason for our gathering, of course, is for the Roll for Wishes campaign that Make-A-Wish is running. It's an amazing charity. They do a lot of fine, wonderful work. You can donate at the link that I just posted in chat, or you can bring up the link at any time yourself by typing !wish in chat. With that said, I will hand the reins over to Eddy. It is your show.
Hooray. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. First of all, I want to thank everyone both for watching and also for my players for volunteering your time, because Make-A-Wish is a fantastic charity and we're glad to be able to help in our own little way. And so I thought the best way to celebrate Make-A-Wish is to do crime. So that's what we're here to do today, is we're here to do crime. We are our good-hearted criminal heist gang doing crimes in London, in TV London, not the real London. So this is the London where no matter where you are in the city, if you look out the window, somehow you'll be able to always see Big Ben. That's the London we're in. To start, we'll go around and introduce ourselves. I am the story guide for today. My name is Eddy. My pronouns are he, him. I have been working at the Onyx Path for well over a decade now. I am one of the in-house developers at Onyx Path, and the Trinity Continuum is one of the game lines that I oversee. So I'm looking forward to actually getting a chance to run as opposed to just making books for it. So I guess we'll go over to Bunny.
Sure. Hi, I'm Bunny. I'm a doofus 90s anime bunny girl VTuber, pronouns are she and her or they and them. I'm really excited to be here. I love the Onyx Path. Y'all make some of my favorite games, and it's always such a joy to be here on this channel. I'm playing Melody Oubliette, who's like a street rat turned Fujiko Mine. She's very much the attempted face of the operation, and we'll see how well that goes.
Awesome. I'm going over to Bliss.
Hello, I'm Bliss, pronoun she, her. I play on Twitch sometimes, and I mostly do RPG stuff on other sites and other things and play games and stuff like that. And today I am playing Katarina Honeydew. She's a cat burglar who likes burglaring cats and using ropes to swing into things and be lowered down into laser beams and stuff like that.
Very, very important life skills. Yes. CJ.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ Starry. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm going to be playing Marley Diamondback Hunter, who is a sort of muscle pilot for hire. Can do a little bit of the taking care of the bodyguard bit and a little bit of the driving you around, and hopefully won't get you killed on either side, but no promises. Also they, them, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And finally, Travis.
Thank you so much. My name is Travis. My pronouns are he and they. When I'm not running or playing in games, I am writing them. And I am playing Elsie Graham. Her pronouns are she, her. She is a adventurer by trade, an adrenaline junkie. Imagine if Patrick Swayze's character from Point Break were female, and you would have an idea of what Elsie is. So there would be a lot of throwing each other out of planes and screaming, pull the cord at one another.
Awesome. Before we begin, even though the game is set in London, British accents are assumed. So we're not going to necessarily portray them if we are unable to do so. Just assume that everyone's British and they're explicitly told otherwise. And also occasionally I will use a little bit of French terminology. My French is high school level, so I will attempt my best, but I may occasionally mispronounce things. And I'm going to start right off the bat because we are playing a group known as Les Fantômes. And they are a group that came out about 8 years ago. They're called the Ghosts. Les Fantômes, the Ghosts. And they exploded on the crime scene with very large scale and stylish heists. And after the first kind of couple of waves, it became clear that their targets were primarily people in power who stand to have something to lose. So we are definitely looking at characters like Leverage or Persona 5, the kind of stylish heist gang that has a good cause behind it. And the four of you have been on a couple of jobs for Le Fantôme before. How Le Fantôme works is that it's generally decentralized. Basically, each gang more or less kind of works for themselves, but the person at the head is known only by the name Sabine Durand. And basically, they may be the original Fantôme. It's a little unclear, but certainly they're the one that kind of vets the various different jobs. But if you want to do crime on your own time, that's fine. But if you want to claim the Le Fantôme name, you need to get Durant's buy-in. So we are going to start mildly in media res. But basically what has happened is that your team has been building up a small profile for a potential target. The target's name is Marcus Blackwell. Marcus Blackwell is a wealthy tech entrepreneur, and he has founded the social media platform called Insidium. Insidium was created under an auspice of free expression and ideas, but over the years, it's kind of been increasingly clear that something is going on with Insidium. You're not sure exactly what yet, but you've gotten the impression that Blackwell has some kind of other aim with the Insidium company as CEO, and you want to kind of look into that. And so you're trying to get access to the organization. And you could do that by trying to bribe people or work your way into the organization or the like. But what you've decided is that you need to make sure that his security person is off the books first. So the best way to do that is to steal a gold shipment, obviously. One of the things that you have learned from Blackwell is that he is lowercase l libertarian, very much believes that the government should stay out of free business, blah, blah, blah. Loves Ayn Rand, all that stuff, but also has a lot of his money invested in actual gold. He believes the gold standard is somehow the way that the economy works, and so he has lots and lots of gold. He is sending his gold to his offices in London, so it's right now being shipped down the Thames. So your plan is if you can get onto the ship and steal at least some of the gold, that will very likely get his security person in charge of the shipment fired, which then creates an opening and a little bit of chaos that you could possibly insert your team into if you can get the buy-off from Durant. So you're on the boat right now. And how we're going to handle things is in most heist films, you don't sit around and watch people making the plan. You watch the crime, and then there's lots of flashbacks to how this was actually planned for initially. In Trinity Continuum, because you're all called talents, you have a concept, you have access to something called dramatic editing, which means that you can spend points of your inspiration to actually rewrite scenes mildly to put them more towards your benefit. Because we're doing this as a heist film, if something you can argue was part of the plan, you can also spend your momentum instead to rewrite the scene. So if you personally kind of mildly changing reality, that would spend your inspiration points, which you have less of. Momentum is something you generate over time by doing cool things or by failing. But if you could say, actually, we planned for this, and you narrate the flashback of how you planned for that, and if I'm okay with it, then you can spend inspiration to say that was part of the plan. So you're going to do your planning during the heist rather than before the heist. Does that all make sense? Cool.
I think so, yeah.
All right. So all out of the way, the camera opens. We see a long shot of London, and it's the shot you've seen in 1,000 TV shows before. There's London Bridge, the Thames, Houses of Parliament. You see Big Ben, And slowly the camera starts to pan in, and you see that there's a large barge slowly making its way down the Thames. There's a couple other boats. There are the Uber Thames boats that people use to kind of get from station to station, but there's a large shipping barge also making its way down the river. The sun's starting to go down over the horizon. And as the camera zooms in, the audience notices something unusual in the fact that the people wandering on the boat are carrying guns. They're all carrying large automatic rifles, which is atypical of these kinds of shipments. And so start to go in, zoomer, the camera makes its way through the ship. We see some people, some guards in black tactical gear, submachine guns. Zoom your way in. We then get a shot of the hold, and there are just bars of gold lying on a table in the middle of this barge. There's a security guy. He's got kind of gray hair, chewing a cigar. And there's a plate that comes up under his name that says Benjamin Kahn, security head. We pull back out and we zoom to, let's start with Elsie. What is Elsie doing on this ship?
That is an excellent question. So we are already aboard the
Yes.
vehicle?
You're either aboard or somehow getting ready. I mean, the heist is in process. You could be on the ship or somewhere else that's strategically appropriate to help with this heist.
I think that Elsie is very good at being a problem. So her role in this heist, at least initially, is going to be to provide a distraction.
Okay.
And in doing so, the way that that's going to work is I am going to be parasailing behind an associate, possibly just a hired gun that I've hired just to drive the boat that I'm parasailing behind.
Okay.
When I accidentally fall onto their boat, preferably loudly enough to draw many of the armed guards toward where I have had my mishap.
Okay. We can call that either, let's see, actually quite a few skills that apply to that. I want to make it a base skill roll. I could see larceny, I could see persuasion, I could see pilot, whichever one makes the most sense for you.
I was thinking athletics just to make sure I don't like break my shit when I land.
Okay, so you're trying to do the more of the stunt fall
Right.
skill.
Yeah, I definitely want to make it look worse than it is.
Then let's call that athletics and stamina to make sure you don't hurt yourself.
Sure. That works for
All right.
me.
And then let's difficulty 1, because it's not that difficult to convince people that there's an accident if you run into them.
Right, sure, absolutely. So that's going to be exactly 1 success.
Okay.
So I could have done it better, but I managed to pull it off.
You know what? You didn't hurt yourself. That's all that matters.
Right.
So you parasail right by the boat, kind of smack into it, start screaming, and some of the guards start to come over and they start shouting at you. And then we will shift the camera to, let's say, Katerina. What is Katerina doing right now?
Probably not much. Just, trying to look as though I'm out of the way so that nobody asks me to do anything for them.
So like hiding behind some like crates or something.
Yeah, but like if somebody comes by, I'll look like I'm busy. Like, I've got a task. Just please don't ask me to do anything. I'm lazy.
Got it. I see what you're saying. So
not like quite hiding, but like hiding in plain sight.
Oh, that makes sense. So let's see. I can see larceny, persuasion, because you're not really trying to persuade people so much as just kind of look less shifty. Yeah. So maybe larceny and manipulation.
I don't have enough actual dice, so I just realized I just found a nice little program on my phone.
There you go. I don't care how you get numbers as long as you get me numbers.
And again, I've never played this before or this kind of game either.
So then you want to take number of dots in your larceny plus number of dots in manipulation. That's how many dice you roll. And then each die that comes up as an 8, 9, or 10 counts as one success. If you get any 10s, you can re-roll those dice to see if you get any more additional successes. You want to get at least one, that's your difficulty.
Oh, geez.
Do you get 0?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, what am I rolling in total again? And how many? What is the success?
So it's dots in larceny,
Yep.
plus your dots in manipulation, which I believe is a total of 6.
Yep.
You roll that many dice, and each die that has an 8 or higher counts as one success.
Okay. I have 2.
Okay. Did you roll any 10s?
Nope.
Okay. Well, just successes. That's fine. So we'll say that you're just dressed in kind of nondescript black clothing like everybody else, and just doing kind of vaguely ship things, like sweeping the deck or chugging on ropes, trying to look like you're just out of the way, not really involved in anything. So you're ready to leap into action should you need to.
Yes.
And you see the guards running by you to go towards one end of the ship because you hear screaming at one end, which you believe is probably Elsie. She's probably fine. Okay, then we will go to Diamondback. What is Diamondback doing?
At the moment, I'd say they've probably got the getaway boat. I'm presuming that the area, there's probably a berth that everyone is giving this boat, barge.
Barge,
And I think that probably, though everyone else is still traveling back and forth, so they've probably come up alongside. And what they're probably going to do, as subtly as possible, is, now I have a question.
Okay.
I didn't like make a super science or anything like that, but I was like, well, maybe they'll try to rope like moor the boat on this barge, but far enough away that it just looks like it's doing its own thing. But
That's fine.
But then I thought, if I've got rope going halfway across the channel, we might have a problem. So I don't know if we maybe have like some fun spy science thing where it like goes deeper, like maybe it's really heavy rope, but it's not.
We'll say that you have access to the kind of slightly weird science that you would see in these kinds of heist films, or like say Black Widow in the Marvel movies, that kind of stuff. So I think it's perfectly fine, especially for this opening scenario.
Brilliant. So what they're doing at the moment with I would say it's probably at the back of the barge so that people are looking at it less.
Right.
And they're trying to essentially moor the boat on the, like maybe a railing or something of the barge as subtly as possible, as far like the boat itself as far away as possible. And then they my next step will probably be to use athletics or something like that to get myself to the boat.
Okay. Given the fact that there's distraction going on, we'll just say that you can use that moment to get the boat moored up. That's not a problem. So yeah, athletics and dexterity if you're swinging over. If you're just going to climb over, might would be more appropriate.
Let's do. My plan was either to use the rope to climb, or just straight up swim. So let's do might then, if that's
okay. Yeah, either way, if it's swimming or climbing, then yeah, either way would be might, I think.
Cool.
So
I think we'll try to climb. So I'm not showing off the barge soaking wet, but if I don't succeed, I guess I'm going to be swimming.
Right. Plan B becomes kind of the default plan.
Yes. All right. So might, and did you say larceny?
Athletics.
Athletic. Why did I think larceny? I didn't put any dots in mine.
I mean, if you want to make it harder for yourself, I guess it's okay.
No thanks. Good. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3 successes.
Okay.
No tens.
So difficulty was only 1 early days, low difficulties. So you have 2 additional successes. So you can buy some stunts if you want to. One thing you could do, for example, is use 2 successes to turn this into an escape route, which means that after everything goes bad, you could say, "I'm now activating my escape route," and that's how you get out.
Let's do that, because that's definitely a big reason why the
Perfect.
those successes to a full escape.
All right. So I will note that you have an escape route. Bone
Would-
dry.
Forgive me. I think my internet just went a little bit wonky. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think my internet just had a moment, so I apologize for that to all parties on the call and the viewers. I think we're
No
good
worries.
now, though.
No worries. Yeah, then, so now that we've done that, the camera will now shift to Melody. What is Melody doing?
Does this boat full of a whole bunch of gold and fancy security guards have the requisite zone at the bow for floozies?
Of course, yes. Why not?
I would like to be a floozy.
I would like to be a floozy. That's just going to be the core of the game. Okay, so are you just
I
going
think
to blend
the
in?
moment we
or-
hear the sound happening, yeah, just fully trying to blend in, being one like hot lady lounging across the bow of this boat full of gold, and then presuming that succeeds, the moment there's this distracting noise, she'll do one of those. Oh, I need to go to the powder room, you know, and then go sauntily wander off in the general direction of a whole bunch of cool gold.
All right, then what we'll do is we'll call that persuasion plus manipulation, because you're trying to convince people that you're harmless.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I do see you have a specialization of devilishly good looking.
I do.
So I'll give you additional, if you get at least one success, you will get +1 enhancement, which is one additional success on top of whatever you get.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Do I have 10s explode in this, right?
Yes, they do.
I have 2.
Okay. So it's one success to convince people. So you managed to sneak off. You could buy a couple of, again, you have one success worth of stunts you could buy. Some examples are all systems green, which means that you can bypass all of the security between you and your goal. Diversion, which you already have active, or just another face, which allows you to blend into the background more than you already have.
I feel like let's go for all systems green.
Okay.
Just slip a little bit deeper into the bowels of this barge.
And so how that's going to work is that if for some reason any of you activates an alarm, I will spend all systems green to cancel that alarm for that moment. But you may not know when it happens. You may not realize you tripped an alarm. So, but one alarm will be removed. So basically, you kind of slide your way through. I'm assuming you're wearing like a bikini, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is
As
perfect in London.
As little as possible on the movie.
Right, exactly. I mean, you got to have your requisite moment of skin. And then you kind of work your way through. The guards, again, they're largely kind of going towards wherever the accident is. So you manage to make your way inside the bowels of the ship pretty easily. There's one point where there's a big heavy metal door with a key pass, but we see that one of the guards that you kind of slip past, you manage to get their key card off of them. So you use that to swipe through, and that's how you get to all systems green active. And you make your way into the large room I described earlier. There's lots of gold bars just lying around. Why would you want to secure gold bars on a large ship? No, they just have to be attractively laid out on a table. And there is a middle-aged man sitting here inside the room going, "You're not supposed to be here."
I'm so sorry. I thought this was the powder room. Can you show me to it?
Let's try that persuasion again, because he's
Sounds good.
onto your game. You're going to have a complication of suspicious, which means that
very understandable.
if you don't buy that off, then he may still go along with it, but he's going to be suspicious.
Okay.
Otherwise, difficulty is 1 because he's not prepared for this.
Okay, awesome. So I have 3 so far with 2 10s.
Okay.
I still have 3, but let's buy off that suspicious.
Okay. So you buy off suspicious, you just convince him.
I think our goal here is to draw him out of the room, and
Yes.
then just going to try to leave the key card outside the door and hopefully alert the rest of the team.
Okay. So yeah, you'll say, "Hey, can you show me where to go?" And he's like, "Fine. Gotta be quick." And then he starts to take you out. Yeah, and you kind of quietly drop the card in
And
front of
she'll
the
be
door.
like, and I feel so clumsy in these shoes. Can you help me take them off?
Well, of course, probably like 6-foot high stilettos. And then
Do we have radios?
Yes, we have tiny little earpieces.
Okay, then I get to do one of those like stage 2 go messages. We totally planned this whole thing.
Awesome. So Katarina is in place to kind of take advantage of this. Let's actually, we want to say that Katarina and Marley maybe have connected up on the ship.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable because I think Marley would probably have just kind of kept a low profile, stayed behind boxes, and like circled back around to the first person that they saw. So maybe I think Katarina's a good.
Okay.
Because obviously Melody is floozy distracting and Elsie is massive crash distracting. So
Right. Okay. So basically, we'll do the moment where like you're sneaking around and someone puts a hand on your shoulder, turn around, and it's Katarina. It's like, whew, okay.
Hey.
And you
Hey.
get the stage 2 go in your ear.
there we go.
All right. What the heck is stage 2? Just go with it. Just go with it. Just go with it.
I think it means Melody's got the door cleared. Shall we?
Oh, as we discussed earlier, yes. Perfect.
You go ahead and check it out, and I'll have your 6. I'll watch your back.
All right.
Okay. So there's a couple of different ways you can approach this. You can try to sneak your way from where you're at to the door to make sure you don't accidentally run across the guards. That will take more time, but if someone runs across you, you have a chance to avoid their gaze. Or you can just run. You can just straight up run as fast as you can to get there before the guards get back, which is going to be an easier role to do. But if you mess up, then you're going to potentially set off an alarm. Luckily, you have all systems of green actives that will help you. But
point of order: if Marley is maybe not hanging all the way back, but hanging back a little and keeping an eye out, watching Katarina's back, would Katarina maybe get any sort of bonus or a reduction in TN for that?
What we could do, depending on how you approach it, you can make it. Well, let me step back here. We can discuss how you want to approach that, and then you can say I'm helping, and then we talk about you would make a roll first, and then any successes you get would act as enhancements to Katarina's roll to make sure that they are successful.
So what would Katarina like to do, and Marley will support that.
I am pretty fast, so I think I'm just gonna book it because I have swift and free running.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, this would be great for you. So then what we'll say first is that I'm guessing Marley then will probably just block the door, make sure that no one gets past. So less keeping an eye out and more physically blocking the space. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think even though I think they could keep an eye out, I think they are best served by being a human wall. So let's do that.
Okay. So let's call that athletics and might again.
Love it. I know my skills.
Right. You played your skills.
Yeah, I've got some other. I've got really actually very decent considering the build I made. I've got a very decent like cunning, for example. So there's a few surprises in there, but mostly I'm just big beady. I was gonna say beefy, but I actually don't imagine Marley to be like huge.
No, like quite a wiry muscle.
Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, oh, and a 10. Except I rolled a 4 from that 10, so that's 3 successes total.
Okay. Then you successfully kind of block the area, and then what that will mean for you, Bliss, is that you will make this is ridiculous, athletics plus dexterity. So you roll that first. You will get +2 because Marley is helping you out. So you will get not 2 additional successes after you roll. You'll add 2 on top of how many successes you get.
Okay.
And
is it +3 because I got 3 successes?
You have to have at least 1 to buy off difficulty.
Right. Okay. Yep. I always forget about that bit.
Right.
And I think Marley's kind of like not super hiding, but maybe just to this, like just inside
ready to
the
step
door,
out and
so
grab
that
somebody.
Yeah.
All right. Does my swiftness add anything or my free running?
Yes, it does. Thank you for reminding me about that. Without just spending time looking it up, I'll just say that gives you another +2 on top of it.
Okay.
So if you get even 1 success, you will have 4 additional successes, which is ridiculous.
All right.
And Swift is +1 scale for speed. I don't know if that helps.
Okay, well, then actually it is
I
+2
have
because scale adds +2, so that worked out very well.
Okay, I have 2 successes. One of them's a 10. Plus all of those.
So re-roll the 10, see if you can get another one.
Okay.
I've just started to like
Nope.
I just make docs of my characters now. And that's what I had Swift just like in my doc because
Perfect.
Yeah,
That's smart. I think looked it up. So you have 6 successes. You needed 2 to get into the door. So basically you run through, slide under a door as it starts to kind of roll close a little bit. As you're sliding, grab the key card that Melody left by the door. You get inside, door slams shut behind you. Now, I kind of alluded to this earlier, but since you're new to this, how this game works is that if you have additional successes, you can spend them to buy stunts, which are extra cool things that you can do. I'm going to suggest that you use the 4 successes to buy off the laser grid that you didn't know was in here.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Katarina slides in and basically pops up and then immediately kind of just backflips, which for the audience appears to be no reason. But then as she's backflipping in the air, that's when we see the lasers around the gold pop up. And she sails right over top of them into this massive area of gold.
Woo.
Now, your goal is not necessarily to steal all of the gold. It is to steal enough of the gold to get the security guy fired. The security guy who right now has just walked off with a scantily clad woman off of his job. So you can take a lot of gold, you can a little gold, you can leave a calling card. I mean, how you want to play that is up to you as a group. How stylish do you want this to be?
I vote for a calling card, but we should also take some gold. Maybe donate it somewhere. That'd be a good idea.
Not all of it though.
Not all. Of
I mean, that stuff's heavy.
No, of course.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on my walk and be like, "Hey guys, how many should I take?" And also like, add one more for me into my bra.
Do you have that duffel bag on you, Katarina? That should be more than sufficient, and I'll carry it if you can get it to me.
Do I?
Yeah, we'll say that you do.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take. Obviously, you can't just leave a calling card. I will also leave a calling card, but see how much I can lift, and also be swiftly exit strategied out of here. And then one more for me.
So you pull a small card out of your pocket and leave it there. It is a picture of a person with glasses and a tall hat, like a top hat, which is the symbol for Les Fantômes. And then you take a duffel bag full of gold with 1 extra for yourself, and you start to run back because you're super fast. And then use your escape route to get out. We'll just kind of narrate the rest of this real quick. The team starts to extract themselves. Elsie suddenly gets better and say, "Oh, thank you so much for all your help. I gotta go by." Melody finds the powder room and then escapes out the back hatch to get to the escape route. Diamondback runs cover, as the guards start to realize something's going wrong, you hear lots of chatter over the radio as you get into the boat and just kind of quietly drift off as the boat is in chaos. The camera pulls back as we see guards angrily running around, shooting, not shooting each other, shouting at each other. Yeah, it's bloody now. They're shouting.
Turns into Reservoir Dogs on the boat.
Right. There's a quick shot of Benjamin holding the card, looking at it, and he just goes, "Fuck." And then we pull back, and you see a title, which is The Velvet Glove, which turns out to also be the name of the boat that you stole the gold from. So, you are now back at your base of operations. That was all kind of a way to kind of just get things moving, get yourself a little bit of feel for the character. Do you have something, Melody, or?
Oh, no, I was just getting a thing off my screen. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I just saw your hand go up. I'll make sure you're okay. So now you're in your base of operations. What does your base look like?
Is it a bar?
Sure, if you want to be.
with like a speakeasy back, but no, not even a speakeasy back. It's like a fake wall when you're going to go into the kitchen, then you like pull back something absolutely stupid, not something sensible like a bookshelf, but like
Right.
like an entire Aga oven or something absolutely dumb. And you pull the whole thing back, and there's an entryway.
Nice. And then down in the basement, is it like, is it like lots of big computer monitors? Is it like, lots of couches? Swimming pool? What does it look like down in the basement?
I think whatever the central theme of the room is, there should be at one end just like a gear and weapons locker. So like regardless of the contrast, just directly accessible. Like, we have like this main room that's all like overstuffed couches and very well appointed, and it's a comfortable sitting place. Maybe there's a planning table in the middle of it, and then just guns and knives and bulletproof
Just a
vests.
cage of like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. As you make your way down, you also do have again like one of those huge giant brackets that have like 20 monitors hanging off of them, and they all have a really important looking code scrolling over them. That's just kind of apparently that's how computers work. You have to have as many screens as possible. I say as I have like 3 screens on my desk. Yeah, right. So I'm making fun of it, but also, yeah, I'm the problem.
Are we also doing crimes?
Not on stream.
Oh,
Don't
shoot.
talk about later. But you do also there's one screen kind of in the center that has always had a picture of a cartoon spider on it, and it's very kind of cute anime or like late 50s style cartoony spider. And this is a screen for Spider. Spider is your Overwatch. This is your tech person that helps you on jobs. You have never met them. You have no idea what they look like. They are simply just someone that talks to you on jobs, although they weren't working on the job with you, and also helps you with technical support. And the voice comes over and it's like, so how'd it go?
It's almost too easy.
Good. You think you got enough to convince the round?
I think since Marley offered to cover to carry the duffel bag after Katarina brought it, probably has it in there,
Yeah.
on their shoulder, and they just go thunk.
Okay, that sounds like a lot.
It's not a small amount. Gotta find a pawn shop or something. You got someone we can fence this, so that we can maybe put the money to good use.
Sure. I will have someone come pick it up a couple days.
Perfect.
Assuming you don't want to move it immediately.
Melody is just going to slowly and not really that stealthily take one of the pieces of gold and start petting it like it's a cat and holding it very close to her chest.
Yes. I don't know if they've actually held like actual gold bars in modern day, but they're about the size of a deck of cards, and they have numbers and a seal stamped on them. And so this is all gold that was minted here in England, which is odd. England's not exactly known for having massive amounts of gold reserves, but apparently these are all British gold. But it's nice. It feels nice in your hands. It's again kind of a slightly soft feel. It's just really tactile and nice. So Spider goes, okay, I will set up a call with Durant. I have some info for you, but how much more do you need on Blackwell?
Landing's not my strong suit.
So now basically what I'm asking out of character is that if you have any questions, Spider will give you what information they have. If you want to make your own dice rolls, see if you get more information, you're more than welcome to try. But this character is here to solve all of the boring getting information stuff that you don't have to deal with if you don't want to.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Marley really is more of a like, I'm here for the operation, but I don't know what the shit I'm doing now kind of person. So
Right.
they just kind of like not so casually kind of like take a few steps back and like go find a drink and like sit down on the couch like
Nice.
someone else can handle this.
Yeah, I mean, Elsie says, do we have a next step? Do we have like a? I know this whole operation we were trying to get the head of security out of the way. This hopefully was enough to do it. Do we have?
I mean, shouldn't one of us apply for the job? Just
Yeah.
looking at Marley.
Is that the plan?
It'd be a nice way to have
plan.
access. Yeah.
Well, as you're talking, one of the screens, some websites pop up, and you see Benjamin Kahn retires as security head of Insidium. CEO offers his best wishes for his future endeavors.
Well, yeah.
Wrecked.
Okay, sure. Guess I'm gonna go work at Insidium. Can we get like a dossier or something written up? Because I don't think former smuggler with the GIC is gonna do a whole lot of good. To get well, actually, I don't want to use my real name. So can we get a dossier wrote up for me? Some fake CV, something.
Sure. What gender you want?
Oh shit. None? Is none an option?
I got Gabrielle. I can switch that.
Gabe sounds good. I'll be Gabe.
All right. Gabe Stokes it is. Hope you can do an East London accent.
I can come up with a convincing backstory why I can't.
So you get a text message, and attached to it is a PDF file for Gabe Stokes, who is a former special operative for the British military. Has about 5 years of security experience, and the kind of enticing black spots on your CV, which in most jobs will look like you did nothing, but this kind of job means you did wet work. And he is from Hackney.
From Hackney. Yeah, I'll offend literally everyone from Hackney ever if I try that. But we'll say Marley does it fine.
Right, exactly. Like I said, all British accents are assumed in this stream. So you sound like Idris Elba.
If I was really like being honest with you right now, I just want Marley to sound like Carlac.
That's fine.
I cannot do that voice to save my life, but it's a good voice. Anyway.
Totally is. Did anybody else need anything before I go fence this gold or set up a call with Durant?
Nothing springs to mind.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what's his taste in women or other folks?
Yeah,
I could put a mustache on.
That's a good one. He is a tech bro. So he is he's boringly straight. But he does like beautiful women. He likes them a little dumb, so he can seem more smarter than he is. Knowing a little bit of tech would probably help. But I'm just gonna send you the file. But honestly, just spend 5 minutes on Tinder, you'll probably get the vibe.
Cringe shit. Noted.
Yeah. And so you get a text message on your phone. Side note: you've never given Spider any of your cell phone numbers. And it has a bio breakdown, and it's more or less kind of what they said. The only interesting bits is that unlike other equivalent CEOs, apparently Blackwell is genuinely smart. IQ is a bullshit metric. Mensa is debatable on its attribute on intelligence. But you do get lists and lots of accolades from lots of different institutions, not all of which can easily be bought. And also, Spider Chief throws in a snippet of code that Blackwell has written, and you don't understand a word of it, but Spider seems very impressed by it. So this isn't someone who thinks he's smarter than he really is. He acts like that, but there's something else there.
Wow, Spotty, you should date him.
Yeah, no, I don't do any of that.
I think your best shot melody is to maybe put like one colored streak in your hair, one like party color in your hair, and start talking about how you want to name your kids after metal alloys. I think you'll be good.
Sounds good. Do I at least get to wear a lab coat?
One lab coat. There's a whole. I assume you probably have like a side closet with like all sorts of stuff you can wear.
I just like the lab coat.
Lab coat, pair of glasses. Okay. If there's nothing else, Spider will set you up with the call with Durant. We can kind of jump to that unless there's something else that any of you want to get first. Okay, then. So you get a call with Durant. It's a video call with her, and she's got short, very short blonde hair. It's almost quite a buzz on the sides. She wears a long gray coat. Her skin's kind of an olive color. You don't entirely know if this is actually what she looks like, because there's been little bits in some of the past calls with you where like she's usually still at moments, or the way that she's speaking and the way her lips move don't quite synchronize. So there might be this may just be a completely false image, you don't know. But it's good enough for Zoom calls, put it that way. And she's like, bonjour, I understand you want to solicit a job.
Yes.
The Spider told me just that this is Marcus Blackwell, but what do you have? What makes it worth Le Fantome's time?
Marley's like looking at everyone.
He's a total asshole who's ridiculously wealthy, and we just got his head of security fired.
Oh, that was you. Well done then.
I assumed you would have known. Oh my gosh, we're sneakier than I thought we were. Oh.
And
I like to encourage my associates when I can.
it was remarkably quick too, actually. They fired him like faster than it takes me to digest dinner. Like,
He was struggling to get my shoe off while you two stole the gold. So
It is, we did take it probably enough to justify a rapid firing. I'm kind of surprised that they let him go with such a public nicety. You know what I mean?
There may be something else there. It's worth looking into. But if you're ready for an infiltration, I've done a little bit of work myself. And I think that I agree. Insidium seems to be a good target. All I would ask, I know that you are not the most technical of teams. So I would not ask you for any kind of the cybercrime or the like. But he needs to be embarrassed for this to fit in with my other plans. So whatever you do, I leave it to you. As usual, I do not advocate murder unless it is in your own defense. But if whatever your result is publicly bad for Blackwell specifically, and ideally for the company, but that is just a bonus, then you have my blessing to use Le Fantôme. My resources are your resources.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I will coordinate via Spider. They will get anything you need from me and my organization. As always, if you get caught, you've never heard of me, and any resources you have will mysteriously vanish.
Yes, it'll be disavowed, and this message will explode in 10 seconds. We know.
But
Heard.
then I only ask one more thing. Have fun. She ends the call.
Always do. Do we know if
Bye,
this?
Mom.
Do we know if this dude's got any hobbies? Any sports he plays or likes to watch?
Blackwell?
Yeah.
Spider comes back on screen and sends you a text message. What? Actually, let me roll Spider real quick. It's a lot of dice, but look how much information I'll get. Ooh, holy crap, that's a lot of 8s. So there's a lot of the usual things, video games, a lot of the references he tends to make in media calls and whatnot tends to be these about the typical amount of media savvy, skewing towards 90s cartoons. He has been seen at things like polo tournaments and the like, but you get the impression that's really more just the bare minimum, golf tournaments, stuff like that. So he's not really too sporty. But digging slightly further back, apparently Blackwell was very close to becoming a world champion on the chess circuit. So he's a very good chess player. He did not quite make it to Grandmaster, and is not entirely sure why. Not clear why.
That could be a good way in, honestly.
I was going to say
Sure, if I knew the
embarrassing
first thing about chess.
chess would be a thing, but I don't know. I feel like most of the world isn't too concerned about who wins at chess, so I'm not sure if that's the right in.
No, I mean,
Well, maybe he is.
it'd be a nice.
I don't mean to embarrass him.
It'd be a nice on ramp to maybe getting his attention or seeing if it's maybe something that bothers him. You know,
Oh, what
guys
about
like
a
that.
chess fangirl who's uncovered a conspiracy in the chess grandmaster determination for why they decided that he couldn't make grandmaster. They were too embarrassed at his big brain.
That might work.
That
Gosh,
might
it might.
that might work, but we would need. I mean, I think maybe we should, if that's the route we want to go, maybe we should do a little bit of digging to figure out why he actually didn't. You know.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Because if we cook up a big story, you know, I think it'll work better if it has some grain of truth to it, or at least doesn't directly contradict the truth.
Got a point.
So it sounds like you're planning to spend at least the next few days, maybe even longer, just on prep work. You're going to do some research. You're going to do some reconnaissance.
Absolutely.
Things like that. Okay. Then what we'll do is I'll have each of you describe to me what your character's generally trying to do. I don't need specifics, just kind of like what your overall strategy is. And then we could try to find a good dice roll for you. Then we'll pull together all the successes you generate as a group, and then from there, we'll start buying information with that. Sound fair?
So this is like a movie montage of us like
Yes,
spying,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
So Elsie's going to do the most like outlandish shit you can imagine. So like, I would imagine posing as a window washer will come up at some point, because she's used to heights. It's not a problem for her. Possibly even like if he's got like a resort or like a place he spends weekends at, maybe like hang gliding over it with like one of those audio guns, like listening to what's going on inside. Like that's where I want to focus all of Elsie's energy at.
Then yeah, I don't say this very often. Let's use athletics and dexterity for your information gathering.
Awesome. I'm a couple of dice short, so I'll have to roll a couple more.
Difficulty give me 2 for each of these. So
excellent. Oh wow, that's absurd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of those are 10s. 7 successes.
7 successes. Okay. Hang on 1 second. So I'm assuming you're in a buy off difficulty, obviously. So that would give you 5. If you would like to, there is a complication of 1 for suspicious. You could buy off if you would like, or you can leave it there and just generate successes. It's up to you.
So I'll buy off the complication. Yeah, I was thinking about possibly, because I do have a gift that might apply maybe.
What gift is it?
Clever distraction, where I could spend an inspiration to like basically put them on the scent of somebody else who is present at the scene.
Honestly, I mean, you can. I would suggest that you can use inspiration other places in this game.
Right, that's fair. Yeah, no, I'll just go ahead and get rid of the complication, so we're down to 4 successes.
Yeah, so you guys say 4 in the pool. Okay. Who wants to go next? I'll roll for Spider Warrior. I'll talk. If no one's going to go, then let's say Melody. What is Melody going to do?
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out donations through Make-A-Wish International.
Oh.
I think Melody is generally looking for ways in which he is feeling emotionally vulnerable. So the chess tournament stuff could certainly be a connection that he maybe is still feeling kind of burned about. Maybe there's some other emotional vulnerability he has expressed, but just some way to get a little under his skin and like offer a solution to that.
Okay.
So for like physical activities, that might be like infiltrating chess organizations for a couple of days.
Yeah. Let's say persuasion and manipulation.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And are you presenting yourself as? Let's put it this way. Are you relying on your looks to help you get this information?
Probably not as much because she's not trying to draw as much attention as she typically
That's what I thought.
would be.
That's what. Then you won't add your devilish good looking to this.
Okay, sounds good.
Because otherwise I was going to bump up the suspicious.
Oh yeah, totally fair. I have 2. I rolled 2 9s. That's it.
Okay, well, that still adds to the pool.
I'm picturing Melody like going into these. This is like typical 90s movie, like going into the chess tournaments with like the glasses and the hair pulled back, and then like if something's not quite working, she like pulls her hair down and like takes off her glasses to clean them, and she's like, I just don't understand.
What can the pawn do again? What is this phallic piece right here? Oh, a bishop. Interesting.
But just touch it to your bottom lip. Yeah.
I'm a real gamer. Holds chess piece to the side of the face.
Pulls up Warhammer miniatures. No. Anyway, Marley, what are you doing?
That's me. Yep, just channeling the low int of my character at the moment. But other than that, I'm thinking that since I feel like not always, but a lot of the time Marley does less of the pre stuff just because they're it depends on if they need cunning or int, because there's a lot of cunning, not a lot of int. But knowing that this guy needs to be embarrassed, they are either on their own or maybe partner with Spider for one to set up so they can maybe get into this guy's social media. Not to do anything yet, but so they can very quickly post something if they get the right dirt at the end of all of this. And then the other thing that they're going to start to dig around for is if he does or has anything that would just be horrifically embarrassing for him. So, something just diametrically opposite from his image, that you just snap the wrong picture or the right picture at the right time, post it to all his social media, man's embarrassed. So that's Marley's. Marley remembers that, okay, you got to embarrass them, and trusts the rest of their team to that'll get him in and out. This man is there. Big.
Let's call that cunning because you're not parsing data. You're kind of intuitively swimming through like social media and whatnot to find connections, and technology. Spider will help you with that, and so they have given you +2 enhancement to your roll.
Thank you. 2, 3. That's a 4 total.
So 2 for to buy off the difficulties, so you have 1 to the pool already. With those additional successes, you can do a couple things. You can just add them to the pool to get more information. You can buy off the suspicious complication, or you can invest that into a digital escape route that allows you to, as soon as you have digital information in your hands, you can put it online immediately.
That one.
Okay.
I think that Marley's main focus right now is making sure they have an easy way to accomplish what Le Fantôme wants of them, and that they can get out of it in one piece. So
Okay.
I will, and much in the way that we set up the boat escape route, I will now.
Right.
set
It's a
up
digital version of the same thing.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
And Katarina, what would you like to do to try to get information or plan ahead?
I think I'm gonna first like just Google like how to get good at chess, or at least look like you're good at it.
Right.
You know, try to set myself up as a contender if the need arises. Like, look at this bitch, she's really good at chess, even if she's not. Yeah. Master of disguises, and I am really good at chess, you know, just in case that persona of mine needs to be brought out.
Okay. Let's call that it's gonna be enigmas to learn about chess. And either cunning or manipulation. I think cunning's be better for you.
Yeah.
So roll those. Difficulty is 2, so you have to get at least 2 successes.
10. Nope.
None?
None.
Okay. So you're like, how do I fake being good at chess? And you just end up going down a rabbit hole of like the history of chess and chess problems, and then it's 3 days later, and
Like,
you're
oops, I know
over 3
everything
days.
about chess except how to appear to be good at it.
Right.
Dang
right.
it! How did this happen?
It's like I now deeply know about the castling controversy of the early 1930s and why it was almost banned as a move, but I can't tell you why it's good, which is how I feel
I'm
after
sorry,
getting
that
Wikipedia
was
poll.
just so much more interesting, you guys. I just had to learn about like what do you want from me?
And then like I spent a day, I digressed into shogi for a day, and that was just a whole mess. And
It's
I
crazy.
feel like Katarina can use this to her advantage at some point by just info dumping at some forsod.
Well, I was
Yeah,
going to
this
say
might be useful.
2
Yeah.
things. One, I believe that rewards us with a momentum, correct?
I was about to say yes. You will actually generate momentum for the group, so your failure is not completely useless. We're now up to 4 momentum.
But the second thing, can she like judo throw that into like perhaps if like she were to feign being like I don't know, like a reporter that's covering, or a historian even that's covering chess, that's trying to get information from this dude about why he was not, you know what I mean? Rather than us trying to find it out independently, maybe she could.
Well, I mean, we could say that like if it comes up, just remind me. And if you run into a situation, Bliss, where you need to prep chess knowledge, just remind me, and then we'll add some enhancement to your role at that moment.
I mean, I also want to find out, why this guy never went pro.
Oh yeah, this is all dice rolls to give you a pool of successes that you can spend to get all the information you're looking for.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into
Okay.
that. So all the stuff. First of all the base information that you can get, just like this is your Google search and light spidering of the web. Marcus Blackwell, as I mentioned, he's a tech entrepreneur. He founded Insidium. Insidium has been a social media site for about past few years. It was positioned as kind of the next big thing after Meta. Somehow managed to navigate the minefield to get people with different ideologies on board with it. But since then has been doing a lot of getting a lot of attention, but there's a lot of negative attention. People go on there to get mad and doom scroll. That's pretty much what he's managed to monetize. Spider has managed to pull up slight information, and through your various investigations, that Insidium has a shell corporation known as Britain Tomorrow. And Britain Tomorrow basically funds a lot of different politicians in the UK. She's been funding a lot of political information. A lot of the campaign people who seems to be supporting are people with very strong divisive viewpoints. So it's not just all Tories. It's not just all Labour, whatever. It's this candidate is strong against trans people. This candidate, wants to abolish cars in London. Anyone who has an extreme position, he seems to be funding them specifically. But at the moment, you don't see a pattern. He is 35 years old. His public image is lots of philanthropy, innovation, disruption, the usual blah 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 from Silicon Valley type stuff. His office, his office and Insidium's offices are in a building known as in London as the Gherkin. The Gherkin was originally known as 30 St. Mary Axe. It's a commercial skyscraper. It looks like a giant cucumber. It's one of those things that once you've seen it, a picture of it recently, you know like what it is. It's kind of a twisty building. It's actually won awards for modern architecture, but it's only been around for about 20 years.
I'm just going to say this building looks like the thing in that Bond, the MacGuffin in that Bond movie whose name I cannot say with a straight face.
Oh, the Fabergé egg?
Yeah.
yeah, it does. It looks like a giant Fabergé egg or a dildo, depending on your point.
I mean, same difference.
If
you're brave enough.
Bad dragon,
Right. Basically, long story short, the Gherkin was originally there's going to be a Millennium Tower built in this area. It was 92 stories tall. That got scrapped. This is kind of built in its place. So this is kind of an also ran, but again, it has won architectural awards. And it is now basically the most expensive business footage you can get in London. Is in the city of London. It's basically thousands of pounds a minute to kind of have an office in this place. And he has a floor. It is 41 floors tall. He has floor 39. So that's what you know about that. He moved his offices in there last year. So Insidium's been there for about a year now. All of the conference rooms are named after various chess moves. So there's the castling conference room, there's the en passant castling room, there's the trading pawns castling room. It's all very twee. Digging back into his past, when he was playing chess, he went by Mark Blackwell, which is part of the reason why it's not as commonly known as opposed to Marcus. And he was a grandmaster in originally in America. Then he moved over to England and started to go through the British circuit, and then just stopped right around the time that Insidium was created. The gossip around it is both sparse and juicy because there is nothing gossipier than the tiniest of subgroups. So it's hard to find it initially, but once you find like the right forums and the right use groups and the right slice of Twitter to get to where the chess nerds are, then it just kind of opens up. And basically, what it boils down to is that Marcus contends that a specific move he used was legal. Other people contend it's not. It's one of those moves that, to people who aren't deeply familiar with the intricacies of checks, it's perfectly normal, natural move. It is part of a long, intricate chain of strategies that should not work the way they do. And so people don't understand how he got the move to work the way they did. And so the general consensus was that he cheated. He contends he did not cheat. So because they couldn't prove cheating, but everyone kind of suspected he was cheating, they just basically said, you can retire or we can fire you, kind of thing. So that's basically what happened, is that he quietly resigns rather than being publicly kicked out of that circuit for accusations of cheating. But he contends he never cheated. The strategy, by the way, is known as the Velvet Glove.
Which you named his ship after.
Yep.
So obviously, this dude's got a problem with letting go of that, which I think we can probably turn to our advantage.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people, fail their driver's test and they name their bicycle driver's test. So, yeah.
Right.
Or, parallel park, I guess, is probably the synonym here.
Right.
Hmm.
So if you have some more questions, you got about 3 more points of data you can ask questions on. I'll burn them as they're appropriate.
I don't have a question, but for the group, I've got a thought.
Mhm.
So I was looking for like this guy sleeps with cuddly toys, which for the record, not embarrassing, but I feel like he's the type of person who would be embarrassed about it.
Right.
If we could figure out some dirt about this, if we figure out he did cheat, that would embarrass him a lot. What do you guys think?
I like the idea if it's there. That's
If it's
the,
viable.
the problem is maybe he didn't cheat. We don't know. Do we?
Yeah, how do you prove something like that?
Do
How do
we?
you cheat at chess? I
I
should
think
know.
there are like
I just
people.
Googled the shit out of it.
You don't know how to cheat at chess, but you do know that there was a huge controversy in the 50s with one of the Russian grandmasters who apparently touched his piece too many times, and that got him disqualified. But you don't know why that matters or who cares about that. But you know that now. It's in your
I know
head.
that.
Living rent free.
Who did he use that maneuver against?
The player's name was Ethan Rahman, Rahman.
And where is Ethan these days?
Wouldn't you know it? For some reason, he lives in London.
Can we get a little bit of intel on him? Social media profiles, likes, dislikes. Does he got a Tinder profile?
Yeah, let's get the 411 on this
Um,
dude.
Ethan Rahman, I'll let you spend one of your points on that. He's late 30s. He has a wonderful husband. They work in the sanitation department, and very much get the impression that Ethan was an up and comer in as a programmer, and then kept getting passed over. Went to another business. That business got bought. He got laid off. Went to another business. That business got bought. He got laid off, and then just became too old to be hired as a programmer.
I got a feeling I know who bought those businesses.
Would you like to investigate who bought those businesses?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe the Shell Corporation.
You spend a point of pull, inspired us a little bit digging, and turns out, all of those businesses were bought by Insidium, and then basically the corporate equivalent of soldier parts. Basically, all their assets were bought, redistributed. They sold off all of the debt, and then liquidated all the assets.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Well, okay, so what if we bring this dude in as like a ringer, right? I'm not saying we like involve like let him know what's going on. But if we can get him into our orbit, and we can set up an arrangement where maybe these two have to deal with one another publicly. Like, I can't imagine he would respond positively to having this person whose life he basically made it a mission to destroy, like say showing up at a $1,000 a plate gala that he's throwing or something along those lines, right?
What if maybe additionally, or whatever? Well, ooh, this might be a little showy. What if we get something that's either publicized or at least one of those big galas, like you're saying, and then while they are all there, maybe if it's a charity fundraiser or something, we put him on blast.
Sure.
Hack into the projector or screen and show him what happened to this poor guy. I mean, maybe we'll clear his name.
I mean, or we convince Blackwell to cheat in a charity chess tournament.
I mean, I'm not personally a believer in either ors. We can do multiple of these things, really. I think if we can really work it out well enough, we can arrange a couple of different places where we sort of trip him up, and then at the end of it all, we give him our own velvet glove, and there he stands
Also,
embarrassed.
how are we stealing everything?
Well, so far, what does our plan require us to steal?
We've been pretty focused on just putting this guy in a
Right.
in a
The how we're going to put him on blast part seems to settle down. The what we're going to blast him with part seems to be a little fuzzy at the
Right.
moment.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, we are kind of clutching at straws a bit, but I think if we can pull all these things together into one situation.
You have to start a plan here. And you still have 1 point left to buy information on. I'll just kind of let that sit there in case you need information later. So what I'm going to suggest is we're kind of at the halfway point at the moment anyway, is that maybe take a quick 5-minute comfort break and let you guys remain on this a bit. And then when we get back, we can start figuring out the scene that we're going to put our next plan into play. Sound fair?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds
Cool.
beautiful.
Well, Tish.
Just on the 25 of the hour. But
And real quick before we bounce out, I just want to say thank you all to everybody who's donated so far. We have met and exceeded our goal. So now let's push for going beyond. Let's see how much more we can
thank
raise.
you
We got
so much.
another
What
half
happens
a
if we
stream.
reach
So.
200? Do we all have to dab?
Yes, we all have to dab.
I don't think I can dab in this mode. I can
it's Bunny's
leave
fault.
awkwardly.
That's Bunny's fault. But yeah, we will be back momentarily. Stay here if you're watching live. If you're watching in the VOD, just hit fast forward till you see our pretty faces again. And we'll be back
There you
momentarily.
go. Cool.
welcome back, everybody, to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. We are still here, still raising some funds for our friends over at Make-A-Wish, the Roll for Wishes campaign. I'm going to throw the link to that in the chat. And then I will...
certainly not spend this time Googling real-world chess cheating.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, floor's yours again, Eddie.
This is your all's game. I don't want to take anything from you, but I did have a thought in our break. The idea of possibly combining your respective plans, which is maybe setting up the chess rematch thing at the Gherkin as a distraction to then try to steal the information. I don't know.
Sounds plan shaped to me.
Also, I realized we have like an hour and a half left, and I have inadvertently made too interesting of a plot.
We were like, how many ways can we ruin this man's life?
Yeah,
right. And trust me, I am all for ruining Tech Bros. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I mean, I'm all for a plan where we like enact simultaneous vectors of attack on the life ruining.
Set up a chess rematch between these two for charity as a distraction.
Right.
And then I don't know if putting him on blast or anything's going to work, but maybe he'll embarrass himself.
Sure. We just have to get
Do we structure it like it's a charity chess tournament? We know he's like a famous chess player. We'd love to have him as a part of it, and there'll be like a secret final boss revealed.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
What was the dude's name that he beat? Or that he was accused of cheating?
Ethan Rahman is the person that Marcus Blackwell beat, and everyone accused Marcus Blackwell of cheating to do it.
What if we change his name to like Eric Randolph for the purposes of the tournament, so that way?
Or I mean, Rahman's married. You could just have Rahman use their husband's last name.
Oh, there you go.
We'll say that is Thompson.
Excellent. Yeah, let's.
You think he's gonna suspect it though? That's why we should do like a decoy, like, if you beat this super famous awesome guy, it'll show that you're great, and then we pull him out at the last minute. I feel like if we put like his first name, he might get suspicious.
We can just put first letters like E. Thompson.
And E would be fine.
I mean, if you do it as a tournament bracket, it's pretty common. You have like first name, first letter, and then last surname, or even just surname. Like in fiction, more common, like Thompson Stokes, whatever, blah blah. So you can do it that way and do it as a tournament bracket, and then you can just straight up rig the tournament. I mean, engaging the actual cheating that Blackwell is accused of to get this match to happen.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Guys, cheating is wrong.
Says the thieves who just stole a whole bunch of gold.
But I mean, sometimes you got to do a little bit of cheating to expose a little bit of cheating, scientifically.
Sure.
More like the Robin Hoods here. Like it's fine.
I just deeply love the fact that like stealing gold, no problem. Cheating in chess tournament, okay, we have to have a debate about this.
That's the line.
That's
What a terrible
Weigh the
debate.
ethics of
Like,
this.
you can ethically win a chess tournament. You can't ethically become a gold hoarding billionaire.
There you go. Well played.
It's valid. Yeah, I mean, I think so. We need to initiate contact with Ethan. We need to set up a framework for this chess tournament. Does anybody have any ideas about like how we might do that? I have some people in my crew that deal with tournaments and competitions, but not so much of the chess variety.
Spider screen lights up and says, "I got that."
Oh, sweet.
Thanks, Spider.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
I'll be inside as long as as long as I get that job, so I can, open back doors and things like that.
Well, let's get you hired to start.
Okay, so I'm trying to write down the plan here. So step one is get Gabe hired.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Step two is reach out to Ethan. Get Ethan on board.
Yeah, and Melody, since you're trying to you've got all this information, maybe you could do the step 3 of get Blackwell on board. You can kind of pose as this philanthropist running this chess tournament, and you can use all your
Am I not already a dashing philanthropist? I've got the
and all
perfect
of your
outfit.
wiles, and yeah, you've got this. So somebody else needs to get Ethan on board. That's not gonna be me. I don't convince people well.
We could split into 2 teams. I could support you getting hired, and these 2 could try to make contact with them.
with Ethan.
Sure,
Okay,
absolutely.
So step 1, get Gabe hired, and we could allocate people as needed. Step 2, get Ethan on board. Step 3, set up chess tournament, which Spider will handle that checkbox. Step 4 is get Marcus on board. And then step 5 is infiltrate the Gherkin. And then
So-
step 6 is reveal the secrets during the tournament. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, and some sort of like broadcasts. Well, I mean, if the tournament, we'll get public news on the tournament, and then
Well,
I mean, it should be broadcast live on his social media platform.
we also, we need to make sure that we reach out to any influencers, both on that platform and maybe any influencers who are loudly opposed to that platform.
So I will say this: you do have access to Le Fontaine. Le Fontaine has ridiculous resources that you can use occasionally. Depending on your strategy, you can do one of 2 things. You can focus on the chess world and hope that the information radiates outward, relying on the gossipy nature of nerds. I say this knowing who all of us here are.
Sure.
Or you can go big, which is just get on BBC4. But downside of plan A is it may not circulate fast. And also it will get sucked up into the various social media channels that Blackwell has access to, but it can't be choked off at any one source. Once it's out there, it's out there. Plan B, it's going to have an instantaneous hit to reputation, but there's a chance that someone can cut the feed or someone can switch it off. If you rely on 1 or 2 networks, those can theoretically be controlled, especially by a billionaire with lots of gold.
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, we would get some sort of television broadcast happening with it, but also invite like influencers to come live stream from the event and things along those lines, right?
So you're gonna try both.
Yeah, like you can't shut down like a whole bunch of people live streaming at once, but you could like stop people. You could like censor people all tweeting about it. So yeah,
or
as many cameras on it at one time.
Okay.
yeah.
I
also have a weird system logistics question, and feel free to slap me in the nose with a rolled up newspaper if this is too much. I have a gift called Get the Drop.
Okay.
Get the Drop allows me to spend inspiration, and when an opponent tries to avoid or detect an ambush that I've prepared, they face a +3 complication. It says absolutely nothing about that ambush needing to be a physical assault.
No, it
could
can
be
be a
sort.
metaphorical ambush. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Awesome. I would like to spend an inspiration for that. If that's doable.
So what I'm doing is I have a spreadsheet of plan stuff right now. You've already built a digital escape route. I will add to that negate 1 ambush.
Yeah. It basically gives them a +3 complication when they try to overcome it.
So what happens is when an ambush happens, remind me of this, or if I don't remember it myself, and then you get to narrate how in the flashbacks you or someone in the team had planned for that.
Sure. Cool.
That's how all these plans are going to work. I mean, well, except for the digital or the escape route, we've already established that. But going forward, as things build up, you'll be able to say, "Hey, I want to spend this part of the plan to do the thing." And again, remember, you can also spend your momentum. You have 4 momentum to buy these ad hoc in the middle of the plan.
Sweet.
Okay. I will remind you that you, because of your information gathering, you have the complication of suspicious 2 right now. So all of your actions are going to have these suspicious complication, which means if you don't buy it off, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger until an arbitrary point that you're unaware of, in which something will happen.
So hopefully, if we get enough success early on in the plan, someone can buy it off.
Right. There are one of the stunts you can get. You can do things like where is it? I mean, like suspicion goes away if like an alarm goes off or if you actually get called out. But you can also theoretically do things like set up your own ambush, like look over here to try to get suspicion off. Like, so you can game the system in the same way. The idea is that when you're gaming these things, it's not just players gaming the system, but also you as a heist team planning for these eventualities. But also understand that if you start planning for everything, the resources get spread real thin. So, I mean, yeah, there's always the balance of improv and planning that goes with heist gangs, and that's the plan. So yes, so if suspicion gets too high, you can go, you know what, we need to take a moment, take a beat, set up a fake plan to get suspicion knocked off us so we can do the actual plan. You could do stuff like that if you want to. That's why I have the plan broken down into steps. So each point in time, you could say, okay, we're going to pivot here. We're going to change this.
Awesome.
So,
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We should just rampage through it.
you get gunned down the streets like filthy dogs. Who
Yeah,
knows?
but like that happens to other people, not to us. So.
Well, and it's London, so you'll be actually knifed, so you won't be shot.
Right.
And Bluffington did
So
say,
romantic.
Elefanton did say, they don't condone killing unless it's self-defense.
Right.
That
There is a
would
self-defense
be
clause. You have to murder
really,
people in self-defense.
Really convincing that murdering all of these people is
Right. And to be blunt, we're talking about in movie terms is like, if someone has a name and you murder them in cold blood, that's bad. If it's just a generic security guard who gets shot and then dies off screen, we don't care. That's the level we're talking about here.
we're just knocking them unconscious. It's fine. They're
Exactly,
sleeping.
right. I'm knocking them unconscious by twisting their head backwards. It's fine.
Good night.
Precisely.
Okay, so I want to double check one more time, make sure that this is the plan we're going with, and then we'll go step by step through them. So step 1, get Gabe hired. Step 2 is get Ethan on board of the chess tournament. Step 3 is set the chess tournament, which will happen more or less off screen, but we'll talk it through real quick. Step 4, get Marcus on board. Step 5, infiltrate the Gherkin physically to try to get the information. And then step 6, broadcast that information during the tournament. So anything else before we start the plan? Again, you can pivot during this, but is there anything going into that you want to make sure we're covering? You also
No.
have one extra point of information you can spend. If there's something during this, you go, hey, can we get information on blah? You can get that instantly if you spend that last point that you still have banked. Otherwise, you'll have to ask Spider to get the information during the plan, which may take time. And Spider can only do so much. Spider's great, but they're not that great. Okay. The plan goes into motion. After talking things, we did the montage of everyone gathering information. You spread the information out on the screen. And you say, yes, we have the plan. The camera pivots to, we are now at the lobby of the Gherkin. Who, besides obviously Marley, who is going with Marley to get Gabe hired as security?
I thought that was
I
a
feel like
Mel.
we should all plan to be, but Melody, just we can pretend to be a couple for you. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good. Okay, you're gonna help bail me out if something goes really wrong, but if an interview I don't know, my life has come to.
Well, then
Something
maybe you'll
good,
get the job.
That's true.
What I will say again is because of part of the plan is we'll say you two are a part of the team. If something happens where another player character wants to be involved, tell me you want to spend the momentum and you're now inserted in the scene. That was part of your plan all along. So no one has to stay out just because of the decisions.
Okay, sounds good.
Gabe and potential spouse, girlfriend, whatever, make their way to the Gherkin. We'll say it's about a week later. You've put in your completely fake CV that Spider helped you mock up. Spider also went through real quick, knocked you up a LinkedIn, got you some false references, made up a couple of shell companies, gave you some security from them, and also handled some phone calls from some animated heads and AI voices to give you references over the phone.
Perfect.
So you've all the way up to the final interview. You are meeting with Sophia Hughes, who was Khan's second. So you're meeting with, she's the vice head of security. So you go to the front lobby, and the front lobby is gigantic. It's like you go to the ground floor, and it's much like a lot of the buildings in London. There's a pavement, and then the buildings just boom right there. There's not much between the street, the pavement, and the front doors. But once you get through the glass front doors, the actual lobby is basically just a good chunk of the ground floor. There's big, heavy, thick pillars, both structural but also attractive, kind of faux marble covering on them. There is a huge horseshoe desk that has 3 or 4 people sitting behind it, in kind of red polo shirts with little mics clipped to them and computers in front of them. And there are about 3 or 4 uniformed guards, like by the elevators, by the doors, kind of just milling around the crowd. So there's at least a visible security presence. And because you're all professionals, there's a more than likely chance that not only are there cameras, but also probably some ununiformed guards here as well. Probably some people just who are actually acting security, but are disguised as such.
I think maybe a
Marley.
good thing for that they would have probably discussed before going in. A good thing for Melody to do while she's waiting in the lobby would be to kind of pin down all of these things as well, so that we have maybe some intel for when we're setting up because probably the tournament and stuff would be in this massive lobby, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
So this is your
So-
like first look.
Okay. So have Gabe and Melody's cover not only be connected, but also Melody's cover is also the person setting up the tournament down the road. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
I
need a
think
cover
that
name,
was
Melody?
I can probably come up with one.
Okay, fair enough.
at the moment probably not playing as that person, but just
When someone sees them again, they'll make the connection, right? Okay.
yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention this. Each phase of the plan, unless you tell me otherwise, you all have radio receivers in your ears, and Spider is always available on Overwatch while you're in the midst. So Spider can be in your ear, and you can ask Spider for technical support. If you've played any kind of cyberpunk role-playing game, this is your Netrunner Decker analog here.
I will say, just to be clear about my thoughts for Melody, because I didn't want her just like sitting in the lobby, was not necessarily to be the same person as the person setting up, but just that this gives her the first look of like where all the security cameras are,
Oh,
what
okay, I see what you're
the
saying.
what
Yeah.
the logistics are. I think it might actually
I think
work.
Melody's going to be
against
like a
us if it's-
concerned American girlfriend who wants to know that the building is cool enough for my amazing partner.
Got it. Okay.
I'm anxious
Then-
about it. It's England.
Thanks,
It's
babe.
dangerous here. I pronounce A's aggressively.
And I mean, it is a problem because more people have knives.
Right. And you can't carry a gun. It's so weird. How
You can't
do
carry-
you stand,
if
how
I
do you stand your
can't-
ground without a gun?
If I can't concealed carry, how am I supposed to protect people? We're not going to get.
Right. Anyway, so if either of you want to kind of just do a casual get sense of any hidden potential security here, either of you can make a larceny and cunning roll. If you don't have larceny, you can still make the roll. You don't have to have dots and skill to roll it, unless I simply say otherwise.
Do you have larceny, Melody? I do not.
Yeah, she's got a little bit.
Leave that to the brains of the outfit.
I have 1.
Okay. You do see some of the kind of glass mirrored bulbs hanging up, but you actually pretty quickly realize that they're probably dummies. So the real cameras are probably actually hidden. They're the pinhole cameras. They're hidden in other objects, but they're obviously false cameras, which says to you there is a level of redundant security here that you need to be aware of. There's going to be false security as well as actual security. That's about all you can get.
That's so
Sounds
useful.
good.
And I think Marley's gonna do the whole like, I'll be back as soon as I can, babe, kind of thing. And
So you go to the front desk, give your name, they send you up. So yeah, you're in floor 39. You get a visitor's pass, which they clip to your vest. They don't take this off. Make sure it's visible at all times. Blah blah blah. This is also your pass for the lift. So please be careful with it. You walk up to the lift they point you to. You show the badge. You take it off and touch it to the panel. Click back on. Lift goes up to the 39th floor. 39th floor opens up, and you see definitely not as grand of a lobby. It opens up into a reception area, but there are doors not only behind reception but also to the left and the right. So it looks like what probably is that this is an area that can be blocked off for smaller kind of office blocks. But since they bought the whole floor, they've turned the main front area into reception. Maybe had a wall taken out, but there's still the doorways and passageways to the other parts that could have been other office blocks. There's a big Insidium logo behind the front desk. There's a clean-cut man sitting behind the desk in front of a laptop. You see that the doors to the left and the right and back are all metal doors that have, again, those scanner things behind them. And he asks your name. He says, "Have a seat." 10 minutes later, a woman comes out of the door to your left. And she's got brunette hair. She's wearing a fairly severe dark suit. And I'm going to say that Marley has been around guns enough to see that there is a holster under her armpit. You can see. So she is armed. She goes, "Are you Gabe?"
Yeah, Gabriel. Pleasure to meet you.
"Please come in."
And we'll follow.
So
Clock
she,
what I can clock, but
right,
more
she-
focused on getting hired.
You can go ahead and make a quick cunning roll.
Okay, sure. Just straight cutting.
Oh, it would normally be larceny, but I know you have 0 dots in that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any larceny, so. Oh, but I did okay. I got 2 successes out of my 4 dice.
Okay. All right. So you notice that she has a key card. What you notice really quickly is when she pulls the key card out and touches it to the tap, to the little box, she also carefully actually slides her thumb off the card and presses it as well. So it looks like it's not only the key card, but also a thumbprint sensor.
Gotcha.
And
good
if
to
you hadn't
know.
been paying close attention, you probably would have assumed it was just a key card.
Okay. Cool. Then that's
So
all.
you,
Yeah.
do you say anything, or you just kind of just note that?
I think, yeah, at the moment, just gonna note it. Presuming if hired, they're gonna find out about it anyway, probably. But at the moment, they're keeping that information back in case they need to like impress her with knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she takes you down a hallway. You go by a large areas of just kind of cubicle farms. Lots of people sitting at kind of open plan desks everywhere. Lots of concrete floors and walls. You get the impression most of these are probably just hot desks of people. They sit down, open their laptops, and start working. It has all the hallmarks of a quote unquote fun tech company, but is actually deeply soul crushing, which is about what you kind of expected for this space. But as you walk through that, she takes you to an actual enclosed office that's off of this whole area that has her name on it. And she takes you inside. She doesn't say much through all this.
Neither does Marley.
Hmm?
Neither does Marley. The
Okay.
less they say, the less they can mess up.
Fair. So she goes in, she offers you a seat, and then she sits down behind the desk. The room itself, it's very utilitarian. Metal desk, again, has a closed laptop and a phone sitting on it. There aren't any pictures. There's no toys. There's no office things. Just a couple of chairs, a desk. You very much looks like this is just a place where she sits down to work. But it did have her name on the door, so this is actually her office.
Okay. And sorry, could you remind me the player of her name again?
She is Sophia Hughes.
Sophia Hughes. All right, cool. Thank you.
There's
I feel
a
like
lot of
Marley
names
would
going
have
through.
committed that to memory, but
Yeah. No, I
mine's
recognize that because of the nature of this kind of game, a lot of names get thrown around. So at any point in time, if you're like, "Hey, could you remind me of?" That's all free information.
Thank you.
So Sophia sits down behind her desk and after your seat, she offers if you want any tea, and then whether you say yes or no, she then eases into the interview. And she's like, "You have a very impressive CV here, Stokes.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you want to say before we kind of dive into this?"
Well, I'm sure that you are familiar with this department just as well as I am. I know that in many other scenarios, you might have a question about some blank areas in my CV, but I did want to just make it clear that I am not technically at liberty to discuss some of those areas, but I can put in a request if you need any additional references.
She nods and says, I did have a question about that, but I have spoken to some old friends in the SAS, and they assured me that's fairly normal for people in your former line of work. So I recognize that there would be some areas of our conversation that are going to be off limits. And if I do run into an area that is off limits, please let me know, and I'm happy to pivot the conversation to another direction.
It's very much appreciated. I'll do whatever I can to assure you in any alternate way should that occur.
Okay. It quickly cuts to Melody in the lobby. Are you just hanging out, looking like
I think she's like reading a bunch of fashion magazines, talking about how, like, I don't know, just anyone who comes by about like how impressive her partner is, and like, you know, this building's at least pretty enough to deserve them. Just vibing.
Nice.
Like,
as you're
very much
there,
going for it. A vibe.
Totally.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You seem to be nailing it. You do notice that there's one security guard that keeps kind of glancing over at you. You do not know if it is you're suspicious or you're attractive. I would like you to
she'll glance up from the fashion magazine a little bit, do a little a sly grin, pop back beneath the fashion magazine.
Okay.
See what he does.
Make persuasion and presence roll.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Do. I have nothing. I got nothing.
Okay. Stone face.
I rolled a lot
no
of
reaction.
sixes.
No reaction from them.
She will carry on vibing.
Okay.
Nebulously hoping for the best.
This is fine. I'm just rolling dice for the heck of it. No big deal. So we'll cut back to Marley. Going through a bunch of interview questions to kind of collapse those. This could be strange. But I would like you to make a close combat and manipulation roll to bullshit combat experience. I mean, you actually combat experience, but to put it in the right context.
Yeah, I like it. And
the reason why I love the system is I could just say these two things go together. Sure.
You can usually make it make sense. That's what's cool about it. Ooh, okay. 5 successes.
1 success.
No, 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, I was like, what success?
I was way too excited for 1 success.
Okay. It's only difficulty 1 because you already had combat experience. Would you like to buy off suspicious right now?
Yes, I was thinking maybe, I don't know if it's like if it's by virtue of I've become trustworthy and this person is clearly my girlfriend or what, but or if the suspicious is kind of from another area, but what, I've got an even better one, if that's okay. If there is a way for them to drop in conversation in a way that's impressive and buys off suspicion rather than working against us. That like
So I should clarify real quick. When the suspicious complication is across the whole plan, right? Not necessarily this person's suspicious. Is what we're tracking here is if you don't buy it off, you've done something that over time people start to put together. Hey, something happened here, and at some point in time it'll hit a certain metric that people go, oh, there's a heist going on. So it's not
Yeah.
simply this person's suspicious. Rather, I'm going to avoid doing something suspicious.
Right. So what I was thinking that might be even better than that is if during the interview, Gabe drops some conversation that puts them off the trail by making them think that Gabe was looking into them to see if they would be a good employer and if they had their security in order.
Okay.
If he kind of, or if they kind of do the, I've done my research, that kind of thing, and I'm impressed by this and this that I was able to find out, and I think it would
Okay.
be good to work
I will
with you,
give you for those 2 points. I will give you a plan piece called Paranoid Securities. Now, security is second guessing itself.
Okay.
So at a certain point, you can spend that to maybe try to get security guards to doubt themselves.
Okay, cool.
And that's on top of buying off suspicious.
Okay, I was gonna say, how much was that? Yeah, so yeah, whatever works to buy off suspicious then. But
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
had 5 successes. You 1 for difficulty, 2 to buy off suspicious, to left you 2 to buy this.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Paranoid security. Ooh,
so basically, you turn around and she starts to you've quietly turned the conversation into a counter interview. Where you're now starting to ask her questions about the security for the building, and she realizes what's happened. And rather than suspecting you are trying to get information out of her for nefarious purposes, she thinks you're doing it to try to get her fired from her job. But
maybe not whoops.
Right. Then you are able to say, oh no, I mean, I'm just really excited to work on the job. I'm already thinking, you kind of spin it like that. But now that doubt's in her head.
I can improve.
Right. So she says, we'll get back to you in a couple of days. We have some other candidates, blah, 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 I'll let you go. But for the plan's purposes, within a few days, you're going to get your badge name on the door. You will be the security head for Insidious. So that is checked off. That is successful.
Did it. Gonna head back down and lead Melody out arm in arm, and then as soon as they're out of earshot, be like, done.
Do a little high five.
As that security guard's watching both of you as you start talking again, but then he touches his ear and then walks off. So that falls apart. Okay, we're now on step 2. Contact Ethan, get Ethan on board. Who wants to be part of that team?
I thought Katerina and I were doing that while the others were.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Like I said, Ethan Rahman lives here in London. He lives in we'll say West London. And it's a nice house. It's a lot of the houses are row houses, so it's one of lots of houses connect to each other. It's not a terrible neighborhood, so your guess is that maybe Ethan saved a little bit of money from his other programming jobs. Just buying a house in London period is expensive, and buying a house that's not like council housing in London is even more expensive. So he's got okay money. But it's also not like it's easily 40 minutes by tube to get anywhere from here. So we're pretty far out. How do you want to approach Ethan? Do you want to just call him up? Do you want to knock on the door?
So since I have all this like useless chess information now, I think I'm going to use that to my advantage and come at it like I'm a journalist, like making a documentary about it.
Okay.
And just kind of try to impress him. Like, I think I'm gonna, making a documentary about like, chess scandals and stuff, and I want to talk to him about it. and there may or may not be something in it for him if he does this interview.
Okay. Then what I'll say is I'll spend your useless chess knowledge plan that you got. And you can just bypass the roll. So basically, Ethan is, like I said before, like late 30s, gentleman, and invites you in. It's a nicely appointed house. And you start mentioning work on documentary, whatnot. You just drop a little chess there, and it becomes very excited. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't played chess in years. Do you play? How often do you play?
I don't play, but I'm very interested in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an old part of my life. I haven't thought about that in years. What would you want to know?
Well, the documentary is actually about chess scandals in recent history and stuff. I'm sure you don't need any further reminders about what I'm talking about. Am I right?
Yeah, that's. I still. I'm surprised people are still interested in that. That happened a while ago.
Well, they're not, and that's why we're trying to bring it back up. You see, I'm going to turn you into the star of the whole thing. You're going to be like the hero, you know? It's going to be
Really?
like interviews about you and like how you had everything going for you and stuff. But then like this douchebag comes around and tries to take your career away, and that's pretty much what he did, because people accused him of cheating against you.
That is tempting. How would you? I mean, just ask me questions. You print in your magazine or whatever. I mean, how does this work?
Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna probably bring up the tournament and say that we're gonna film it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're filming it. It's a movie. Cool, right?
That is interesting. I would like you to make. Well, actually, before I do this, is Elsie doing anything during this conversation?
So Elsie's just kind of there to act as support, but also if our plan is to sort of pose as documentarians, I would like to activate one of my contacts. I have a community contact with extreme sports enthusiasts.
Okay.
And so what I'd like to do is just get a couple of my adrenaline junkie buddies to like act like film crew for us, right? So like to be around.
We should be filming this whole thing too.
Yeah.
And make
I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a whole production.
So we didn't talk about this initially. Someone have to spend inspiration. I'm happy to do that, but one of you should spend an inspiration to.
I'm happy to do that.
Rewrite that. But then, yeah, we'll say that that's easy enough to do. They'll show up and they'll point cameras at people and look impressive. Then with that now, I would like Bliss. You should make a persuasion plus manipulation roll.
Okay.
But because you have camera crews there and you have the inside scoop already, you'll get +3 enhancement. All I have to do is get at least 1 success in this roll.
All right. Oh, geez. Come on. 110. Dang it. Yeah, nope.
No?
Wow.
Okay.
That was like.
So just things we do here. You could spend. You have 4 momentum. You could spend momentum to get more dice to try again, or you can just eat the loss, get momentum. You have 5 momentum for the pool, but this will affect the plan.
I would recommend let's spend 2 so that
Yeah,
way A,
we need
you
this
get
to
some extra
happen.
dice, and B, then we
Okay.
also have spent half the momentum pool.
Okay. Then roll 2 more dice. See if you get any successes.
No.
Okay.
Damn.
You have 2 more left to spend, or you can take the loss.
Should we go for broke?
I'm for it if everybody else is cool with it.
Okay, 2
I
more.
mean, why not? It just means we get more consequences later.
All right, I got 1.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay. You buy off difficulty, you buy off suspicious. You have 1 point left you can spend on something.
Could we possibly invest that point in an enhancement stunt for our boy Ethan? So basically, like, if we're amping up Ethan's confidence.
Yeah, we're
right,
trying
right.
to hype him up. Yeah, he's gonna be the star of the documentary. Like, everybody's gonna hate this guy, love him. He's the hero. He's gonna come back, and also he's gonna be like, he's gonna win against his old rival. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Okay,
So-
all right, we'll do that. We'll do that. You will encourage. You have +1 enhancement to his chess playing if that comes up. Or otherwise, make it
Yeah,
more like
he better win.
Right. Okay, then cool. Check step 2 of the plan is checked off. Successful.
Nice.
Step 3 is a chess tournament. Spider's going to handle that. Spider's going to roll their paranoid planning dice pool. That's actually what it's called, paranoid planning. They have rolled some dice. I now have a number. Does anyone want to spend any contacts or use any of your current plan pieces in regards to step 3? Remember the plan was trying to get influencers, streamers, some social media there.
Melody has the contact corporate playboys.
Okay.
That feels like a good connection for a charity tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a patron that I might use to help, maybe more in step 4, like to help set up the tournament. Maybe they're willing to put some money into it or something.
Oh, step 4 is get Marcus on board. So.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe Le Phantom though probably has the money to.
So Le Phantom's going to actually just bankroll the actual tournament and get hired people to set it up and manage it and all that stuff. Le Phantom is going to handle that, and it's through Spider.
I don't think
so.
I
The
have
actual
any.
getting a tournament set up's not the issue. This is the how much oomph do you want to put behind the publicity? That's what I'm asking for resources towards.
I think
Because really
that's
the
gonna go
core
to
piece for
Melody,
you is
because I don't have any relevant conflict.
Okay.
My contact is the head of a smuggling ring.
Who is the charity for?
thus far not
Are we
decided.
raising funds for like local kids in need? Are we raising
Yeah.
funds for
I mean, do you want to get meta
the
with it?
Make-A-Wish
It's a
Foundation?
it's a
let's
wish.
do it.
We are
Make-A-Wish,
raising
done.
funds for Make-A-Wish, and
Wow.
if you click
I'm
on the link,
sorry, Make-A-Wish, you
right?
can't give the millions of dollars for this douche bro into your actual funds, but in spirits, you're going to steal a whole lot of money from them. Let's clip that
Make-A-Wish
out
legal
and
department
have
would
that go.
like your location.
Legally, I'm not saying anything. I'm not implying Make-A-Wish. I'm not implying Make-A-Wish uses stolen money. Blah, blah,
Of course, of course.
blah. Right, okay.
It's
Cool.
it's Wacom-ish is what we're at.
Make-A-Wish. Yeah, Make-A-Wish.
we're going Japanese anime with it. We'll just
Right. Oh, Make-A-Wish. Sensei. All right.
we'll just flip the
So,
McDonald's.
Melody's contact uses their contacts to get a little more oomph behind the influence. We set up the charity for it. Le Phantom genuinely make sure the money is going to go to the actual charity because they're that kind of organization.
The Bake a Fish Foundation.
Oh, there you go, Bake a Fish.
Good fish.
It's all about encouraging people to invest in their local community and local organization.
Their subline is, "If you teach a man to fish."
Okay, step 3 of the plan is checked off. We're now up to step 4, get Marcus on board. Melody was the lead on this. Anybody else helping out with the getting Marcus on board plan? It's a bit trickier because we have to actually get into Marcus's inner circles to then pitch the plan to him.
Katarina's already sort of established as a chess journalist, aren't you?
It's true.
Yes.
So what if you're the journalist and I'm the money and the charity? We combine forces to talk about how much good it could do for like the community, for his image, and you know, we're big chess fans. We want to see him kick some butt again.
Yeah, I guess I could kind of be a double agent for Ethan and this guy and be
You're
like,
the
hey,
star.
I'm making a documentary. We're going to redeem you. We're going
Yeah.
to prove to everybody you never cheated and that you could totally kick this guy's ass under any circumstance. And it's for charity and it's going to be great for you. Yeah, no, sounds good.
Okay. Then we're gonna break down the sub steps. First step is you need to get in the door. You need to get in front of Marcus to make the pitch. Someone needs to roll for me persuasion and composure to get past the legion of personal assistants and red tape and calendars to actually get a face-to-face in a reasonably fast time.
I'm not good at that.
So Melody doesn't have the most composure, but has some persuasion. So could roll. How are you feeling on that, Kat, or anyone else?
I'm less than both of those things. I am not great at either of those.
I am
All right.
not persuasive, but I'm just trying to see if I have something I could spend to get us in the door.
Again, like, okay, this is a heist film, so like if you need to do something else to set up a thing to help give Melody a benefit, we can talk about that.
What if we set it up so that it's already announced that he's part of this charity, that we've made a mistake, we were planning outreach, and someone on the social media team got wind. They were so excited about this prospect, so we're starting with an apology. And we're like, hey, I'm so sorry. Our social media guys were just too excited at the prospect of bringing you on board. We would really love to have you if you're up for it. We were planning to reach out regardless.
Okay, Spider will go ahead and roll a C to fake a news leak.
Can't say no now. It's already on the internet.
That's way too many tens. Okay.
Let's go, Spider.
So you're like, hey, Spider, could you do this? Spider's like, give me a minute. Suddenly, on BBC.com, it's like 10 minutes, you get a breaking news. And Spider just sends back a message of a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, so like 2 minutes after that goes live, just like panicked phone calls to the office to be like, hi,
Spider sometimes a little too good at their job.
Yeah.
Like,
What is my name?
Oh, sorry.
Molly O'Donnell from the Bake a Fish Foundation. I really need to talk to Mr. Last name was Blackwell?
Blackwell.
Yeah, Mr. Blackwell. Both to apologize and to extend a somewhat awkward invitation.
Okay, so yeah, this is going to be now your persuasion plus composure, but you now have 3 enhancement because they have a really strong reason I want to talk to you right now.
Okay, let's go. I have 3 8s on 5 dice. Let's go.
Okay. That buys off the difficulty and the suspicious if you want to. I assume you want to.
Oh yeah, I love to not be suspicious. Don't be.
And
don't be suspicious. Just bake a fishes.
Basically, it comes down to is that you call and the assistant's like, I'm not sure what this is in regards to. Hang on 1 second. Then like 30 seconds later, it's like, yes, he will speak to you right now.
Thank you.
And so you get Marcus Blackwell, and it's like, hi, this is Marcus. How can I help you?
I really want to apologize. My name is Monty O'Donnell. I'm part of the team here at the Bake a Fish Foundation. Part of our social media crew got a little bit excited about some prospective folks we were planning to reach out to for an upcoming charity tournament. It's a chess tournament. We thought you might be interested because we have some big chess fans at the organization here, and they were talking you up. And someone interpreted that to say that you were going. So this is now the most awkward invitation I've ever extended to someone of your class and caliber.
I would need you to make persuasion. You're on the phone, so you cannot use devilishly good looking. Manipulation. And I believe you have skilled liar as an edge.
I do.
Trying to remember what that does. Let me.
I think it's 2 enhancement. I thought.
I think it's 2 enhancement sounds right, so we'll go with that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. This is gonna be an opposed roll.
Dun. Well, I hope I roll as well as I did last time here.
Let me roll first, but tell you what your difficulty is. Difficulty is 2.
Difficulty is 2. Okay, I have 3.
Okay. So you'll not be able to buy off suspicious.
Oh God. gosh, one of these was a D8 and I still rolled an 8 on it. I'm counting that
That's
one.
not gonna help you at all.
I'm just gonna put that die somewhere else over here. There we
Keep rolling a
go.
D6 and never get a success with this. I don't understand why.
Oh my gosh, it's wild. Well, the D8's like
Um,
cleverly disguised. It could be a D10 on like a weird day.
That's true. It's true. It is in disguise. It's a transformer. So he's like, oh, that is really unfortunate. But interesting. I mean, I am quite a chess fan. I haven't played in a while.
I was chatting with a chess journalist recently about that, and she seemed really excited at the prospect of you joining, which is where this whole thing started. So that she talked to the rest of the team, and then oh my gosh, but we're planning to raise funds, of course, for the foundation.
Obviously, I need to check my calendar and I need to look into this a little bit further. But maybe we can set up a one-on-one with your journalist friend tomorrow morning. We can meet up here either in my office or we can meet somewhere neutral, whatever sees fit. But I can't be too far
I think
from
it's up to you. We're
Central.
imposing on your time, so you let us know what works best for you, and we'll be there. My schedule can be made open at a moment's notice, at least.
I deeply appreciate your flexibility in this. Let's meet up at the Kirkin, and then we'll kind of play it by ear from there. I can probably smooth this over in a few minutes. I'm sure.
I'm sure we can.
Thank you very much. And he hangs up. So now we're
just messes the team. Awkwardness, success.
Step 4A is now accomplished. We're now at step 4B, which is actually beating Marcus. Again, is it just Katarina and Melody, or is anyone else going for backup? This is one of the big parts of the plan here.
I'm definitely not going for backup because he knows my face.
Right.
You're probably at work.
You have not met him yet. You've met his security person. But also, you're supposed to show up for work. You're supposed to be showing up for work in a day or two. Yeah.
I was going to say this isn't an affair that would require their presence. Having security personnel there.
Yeah, bodyguard. But I guess it is kind of early.
It's like in training, just like.
Yeah.
A few more days, but yeah, you're supposed to work like tomorrow. So
okay.
Okay, so then it's gonna be just Katarina and Melody. Sounds like. All right. Melody, you've been here before. You go up to the front desk. Say, oh yes, we have a meeting with Mr. Blackwell. You go ahead and take the lift over there. I'll have to meet you on the 3rd floor.
Thank you. Melody's gonna dress up in like nonprofit chic.
Okay.
For like the kind of person who's probably getting paid a little bit more than she should be for the position of the organization in that kind of way that some unfortunate organizations do, but wants to dress like she's kind of down to earth. She's like new agey, but money.
Okay. You can get a +1 enhancement for that kind of stuff. I need you to make larceny and cunning roll. Actually, both Katarina and Melody can make these if they want.
Okay. Katarina, please save me here.
Difficulties.
What are
we both doing them independently?
Larceny and cunning. Yeah, you can roll them independently.
Okay.
Just see if you notice something.
Okay. I got 1.
Okay. Is Katarina getting?
1 second. I got 2.
Okay. Both of you notice security guard is paying very close attention to both of you. Melody notices the same security guard that was paying attention to her last time.
You have an admirer.
Well, hopefully my appearance is different enough that it won't be too something, but we'll see.
Oh, true. He's seen you before.
Dun, dun, dun.
So you go to the lift. This is not one that requires a key card. That's the usual lift. Takes you up to, you go up to the 3rd floor. You push the button, 3rd floor. And there's kind of a executive lounge area here that you're directed to. and it's like got stuffed chairs, some small tables. There's a small kind of coffee nook, but it's upscale. It's got several cappuccino machines and nice things, lots of mixing stuff. It's also completely empty except for Marcus Blackwell. You've seen pictures of Marcus Blackwell before. He's mid-30s, short dark hair, white cis man, dresses in the kind of open button-down shirt, no tie, corporate look. So it's not super buttoned up, but certainly can slide towards dressy. Very easy smile, and both of you immediately are hit by the fact that he's actually pretty charismatic. Just a few words out of his mouth. It's like you could see why people want to work with him and want to follow him. And he's like, yes, I'm apologies, I didn't catch your name last time. It was so rushed of a conversation.
Oh, Molly O'Donnell.
Molly O'Donnell, yes. And
Melody's going to try specifically to seem a little awkward and nervous at first, and then allow myself to open up.
Okay. And your friend, I'm sorry, I understand you're a journalist.
Yes. I'm the journalist. My name is Katrina Melonball.
Cat.
I assume you didn't stumble like that in the conversation. Okay. It's like, nice to meet you, Miss Melonball. Please have a seat, and let's kind of talk over this tournament thing you mentioned. So I'm assuming you're to pitch the tournament to him again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple different ways you can do this. You can, which basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to adjust his attitude. Right now his attitude is neutral. He's on the fence about it. You're trying to adjust his attitude towards wanting to do this with you. That means you have to get 2 successes to get him from neutral to wanting to do this to you.
Okay, sounds good.
So how you want to talk about your approach, one person can roll to support the other person to get more successes to help you with your enhancement. Your suspicion is now, suspicious means you're sitting at 4. You have to spend 4 to offset suspicion right now. So it means you have to get 6 successes to get him on board and to make sure he's not suspicious.
Goodness gracious.
Just 2 to get him on board, 6 to get him on board and not have him be suspicious.
Cool.
So how do you want to approach? It sounds like you're going to go for awkward but warming up.
I think
it
awkward
sounds like
but warming up, and then maybe lean into warming up a little bit too much. Like she's gonna act as if oh my gosh, this guy's so cute, he's so charming, he's so smart. I can't help but be a little bit too close with him.
Okay.
That kind of approach. Maybe lean into that devilishly good looking bit there, or the what's it called? Hang on.
Skilled liar and striking both apply, I think.
Yeah, let's do that.
So then, Katerina, it sounds like you're just going to kind of lean more towards the hard sell of, yeah, this is going to be awesome and be great for your image. And okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chess nerd activity.
This isn't my charity or anything like that. I'm just here to, public relations the heck out of him, for my own benefit. So yeah, we're making the best documentary ever, and you're going to be the star. You're going to redeem yourself, blah, blah, blah. This is all about you. You're so handsome and cool.
So you also have skilled liar.
Yes.
So we'll start with you. Persuasion plus manipulations, that only gives you 3 dice, but you have skilled liar. So if you get at least 1 success, that will give you 2 more enhancement. So we'll start that.
Totally. I rolled 3 threes. What do you know?
Okay. So you try to hard sell, but you're starting to feel like you're a bit of a third wheel in this conversation. It's clear that
that's okay. I'm just here to serve a purpose to look like a person making a documentary about it. Yeah.
Right.
It's fine.
Right. Okay. So Melody, you're on your own.
Sorry.
So it's persuasion plus manipulation. Luckily, this is your sweet spot. You have devilish to good looking, which gives you +1 enhancement. You have striking, which gives you, I believe, +2 enhancement. You have skilled liar, which gives you +2 enhancement.
Mm-hmm.
So you have +5 enhancement, which means if you get 1 success, you can in fact get him on board and wipe out suspicious, but you got nothing else
Fingers
in the tank.
crossed. We'll see.
Gotta get
These
at
dice have
least
been real
one.
mean to me earlier, but pretty neutral today. I have one success. I have 4 sevens.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. And of course the 8's like right up against my mouse too. I'm using that my mouse pad as my dice rolling, so I didn't even see it at first. I'm like, oh no. Oh, it's there. Okay. Ooh.
So you
Christ.
start to, you've done this before. You know how to do the honeypot to kind of the right balance of sexy, sensual, and awkward to kind of lure him in without being too hard. You don't want to come, you know how to find that balance. And Katarina tries to help out, but it's honestly just starting to jive with your flow. Oh, I did forget this. As Katarina failed, you do have 1 enhancement. You did 1 momentum, sorry. So got that.
I mean, I brought up the redemption thing, and he probably just got all like butthurt about it. Oops.
But Melody pulls it around.
Yeah.
Like you're about to mention, Ethan, and Melody kind of just quickly cut that off and twist it around. And so it's about half an hour of conversation. It takes a while to build those bridges. But Melody jumps on the fact that he lets slip that he's actually been looking to find a way to appeal to more intellectuals to consider his site, because he's not been doing well in that particular area. And so you're like, oh, this is a great way to kind of bond with them. I mean, chess is such a classically intellectual game, so forth, so forth. And also there's a chance for great publicity. And you start making up metric numbers, like going, chess is trending really well on these sites and blah, blah, blah. Just bullshitting influencer numbers.
I mean, Google en passant is a meme.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And after about half an hour, he's like,
sorry.
That's all right. It
Yeah,
happens.
no worries.
I love dogs. And he's like, okay, well, you know what? Tell you what, I have to clear some stuff with legal, and we need to get some paperwork obviously sorted out. But here's my verbal. I'm in. I'd like to know more. Let's see if we can make this happen. Have your people talk to my people. We'll get this sorted out.
Well, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for your patience. It's rare that I start a conversation so awkwardly, but it seems to go so well. I really appreciate your time and
You did
consideration.
fine. You did fine.
I hope I get to see you at the tournament.
I look forward to that.
I mean,
and
I'm going to try to play, but I'm no grand master.
Well, maybe I could teach you sometime. We could find some time.
Oh?
Again,
Flirtatious curiosity.
look at my schedule, but yeah, I would love to. It's been a while since I've taught someone how to play the game.
I would be honored.
And he hands you his card, and his business card, but handwritten in the back is a cell phone number.
She was about to do the same, like her personal cell phone number.
So
I mean, maybe
change
not
cards.
her personal cell phone number, but a burner. On the back
And Katarina gets a normal business card.
Yeah, I'm just an awkward handshake. It's been great. It's gonna be a great documentary.
Okay.
I'll leave you two to
Cut
whatever it
something
is
on
you're
camera.
having going on here.
So you start to head back. Marley and Elsie, you're back at the HQ. Step 4 seems to be going well. And then Spider pops up and it's like, Melody's backstory is getting researched hard right now. I'm throwing up as much information as I could, but someone is looking hard into her
So-
cover.
Potential helpful stuff on that is that I straight up have an alternate identity as an edge.
Okay. Then would you like to use that to offset this complication?
Sure.
Okay. So you touch your earpiece and it's like, oh yeah, just direct them to this identity. And Spider's like, on it. And then after seconds, yeah, okay, we're good.
Very good.
All right. Do you have to use your negate one ambush? Okay, so we are now to infiltrate the Gherkin. Step 5 and Step 6 are going to happen simultaneously because that's how these things work. And we have 28 minutes of game time left, so this is going to be fun. Kind of recap, what's going to happen right now is it's going to be a month later. They have to determine up. The issue rounds of tournament have to happen. So we have time to get things established. So all of your spending resources to get your equipment, to get the plans for the Gherkin, to figure out your entrance and escape routes, all of that. So all of that mundane planning is happening, and with the resources of Le Fantôme behind you and your own personal resources, there's not going to be any surprises on a mundane level. Any surprises that will happen are going to be due to things you aren't planning for. This also is a month for Marley to get established as security chief, and pretty quickly gave a good sense of what the actual security of the place is.
Also, I'm really sorry. There's, I think, someone at the door, which is weird to me because I live in the woods. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Real quick.
Okay.
But just carry on, and I will catch up when I return.
Fair enough. As a result of this, Marley, one of the pieces you get for the plan is detailed security plans. You now know basically how the security works in a place. There's a good and a bad side to this. The good side is that you know all about the security for the 39th floor, and it is weirdly paranoid. There is no reason why a social media site needs biometric locks for the restrooms, right? It's that level of weirdly deeply paranoid. But because you are a security head, you now have overrides for basically everything on the 39th floor. So that's great. Further, because you are one of the bigger renters in the building, you do have budding relationships, at least kind of I know their number with all of the other security chiefs, both the Gherkin as a whole and the other businesses on the floor. So you have a phone tree to get in touch with other business people, security people. You don't have access to all of the security of the Gherkin. Just you know who to call, and you know your floor, and you know the basic routes between the ground floor and the 39th floor. There's a whole lot of stuff in the middle that's a black box.
Belongs to other people. Like I guess probably have a decent read on Insidium and
right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a year and a chance to leverage all these contacts, you could probably get all the information, but you don't have a year.
Quick question: how many floors is the building?
41.
And we're looking at a month of lead time.
Yep.
I would like to spend as much of that month of lead time as possible, getting as much information as possible about the security in those 2 stories between the roof and their office. It's a lot easier for us to work our way through 2 floors than 38.
Okay. Let's do it this way. Larceny and cunning or intellect.
Okay. Let's see what we can cook up here. Oh, that's 1, 2, 2.
2. Okay. So the top 2 floors are actually reserved for the people who run the Gherkin themselves. So they don't rent those out to other businesses. If you look in the picture, there's kind of like a part where it kind of caps up and then kind of just becomes a point. That's kind of where the last 2 floors are. So the top available floor is what Insidium has rented. So the security on there is surprisingly old school. There's just no doors. There's some access tunnels that, like, for maintenance purposes, but you just can't walk into those areas. So they're extremely secure. And coming from the top would require, first we have to climb 41 stories. But because no one's expecting anyone to climb 41 stories, once you get to those service tunnels, it's a straight shot to the 39th floor.
Right on. Well, my plan was not to climb.
I mean, if you were to parasail to the 41st floor,
Yeah, I was my hope was
who would parasail in central London to the Gherkin? Nobody would do that. They
right,
aren't planned for this.
exactly.
Okay, all right. So,
Just down sailing. That's normal, right?
yeah, it's totally fine. So, who's doing which part of the plan? I assume I would suggest, given what's going to happen here, you probably want to get to whatever your character strengths are. So the people who are good at talking probably want to be involved in the tournament. The people who are good at fighting and or physical security probably want to be in the actual infiltration. But I leave it to you all to decide how you want to break that down.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be dealing with the actual infiltration. Planning on coming
Me
in
too.
through the roof. Is there like a freeway next to that, or
No,
another tall building?
It's downtown London, so there's like two lane streets. And they're pretty heavily trafficked.
But it's movie London. The Big Ben's right next to it.
That's true.
We
That's
can
true.
jump
Can we
from
just
Big
can we
Ben
just
onto it.
get up to speed in Piccadilly Circus and then?
God damn it, I'm giving you a momentum because you're absolutely correct. You can just jump from Big Ben to the Gherkin because that's how it works in movie
That's
London. You're
how
absolutely
London
right.
works.
Yeah, there's
That's how it works.
Scientifically, you
there's
know?
Using my tropes
absolutely
against me, but that is absolutely valid.
there's absolutely like a drone shot like around
Right.
Big Ben as I'm up top like putting on my gear.
Did you say get up to speed around Piccadilly Circus? Like, we're not trying to take a whale to the future.
Well, no, my plan was to, if we were going to actually parasail rather than me jump off with a hang glider, very different approaches. I was going to try to get something that could build me up enough speed that I would be able to get that kind of altitude.
Well, I'm a rope person too, so I was thinking of Spider-Manning it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, grappling hook type stuff, and you can come too, obviously.
Sure.
Okay. The security chief could just use their security access to get to the 39th floor. So I mean,
You can just walk.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that if as long as Melody's, okay on her own.
well, that's the question. So you can either get to the 39th floor, get to that chute, and get Elsie and Katarina in once they make their way across, or you can act as physical backup for Melody in case something goes wrong. Melody's going to be around a lot of people who are going to be very visible on a lot of cameras, so it might be okay, but it's your call.
I think, not to be difficult, but ideally, make sure they're in. Maybe even once they're in, maybe even pass my badge off to them. If I know, for example, maybe that I can get down the fire exit stairs without badge security, and
I mean,
then just kind of
we have a month.
Sorry?
Can I just build a clone of
a
their
secondary
badge?
I don't know if they'd ever let me
3D
take it
print
out of
it?
the.
You can ask a spider can try to clone it. Let me try that real quick.
I mean, and I have some technology, and I have Misfix It. So I mean,
Well, if you want to make a technology roll, see if you can support Spider's roll, because
yeah,
I'll be honest, Spider has 8 dice. I
I'm
think you want
sure.
Spider to lead this.
that is probably better than mine.
Well, then you make a tech plus intelligence intellect roll,
Okay.
and we'll call it 3 successes. It's a pretty hard thing to clone.
And mine is just to support Spider, though,
Right? Yeah, but you still have to get at least 3 successes.
Oh, I did. I got exactly 3.
Okay, that gives one moment. That gives one enhancement to Spider,
Woohoo.
who gets success. That's not enough. Okay, Spider's like, no, I can't.
Oh well, that
I
Can
need
we
encryption.
use our 1 momentum for Spider to re-roll?
You have 2 now. If you want,
What do you
Spider to
guys-
roll.
What do you guys think?
yeah. Let's do it. Why not? Let's burn it.
Now, another option is you could spend your paranoid security because you already have security questioning itself. You can spend that, and I will say that Spider can give you a half-assed key card that might pass security because they're expecting something weird to happen now because they're double guessing themselves.
I think this was, although there's a lot of biometric security, so I think this was more of if we can get something solid enough to bring into the doors, not so much go, I'm allowed to be here, but like,
Okay,
yeah,
then you have to
tech
spend momentum
side.
to do that.
Yeah,
what
we
do you guys
just
think?
we just want to be able to crack doors that might be locked without setting off alarms.
Okay, do you want to spend 1 or 2 momentum?
I say we spend 2. Also, just would it be would this be a thing? And if it's too late to do it, that's fine too. Would this be a thing where I could spend an inspiration to activate one of my facets?
Sure.
So, like to activate my reflective facet and get that extra enhancement on my roll, so that Spider would get the extra enhancement.
All right. You know what? We'll do that. I'll put the 2 momentum back.
I was gonna say I'm happy with doing that in addition to the momentum if we need to.
No. That's fine. That's a very valid way of using your talent skills, because that would push Spider from 1 plus 2, that's 3, which is all they needed.
Okay.
So now your fingerprints, we're gonna say just Elsie's fingerprints are now in the system along with this card. Katarina's are not. That would require a whole separate roll.
I
Okay.
would say then I'm probably not needed at the top floor.
No, then you don't
so
need it at the
I'll
top anymore. You
support-
can just give them a clone card. They can Spider-Man their way in, and you can be at the bottom floor.
Yeah,
And that-
I'll support Melody from a presence
Right.
standpoint.
And that also gives you a bit of plausible deniability if things go sideways.
Right. Okay. So we'll start with the tournament. They have rented out one of the floors for Gherkin to tournament. There's not only are there a bunch of influencers and chess Twitters all there, but also BBC are there, ITV is there, even CNN is there. So they're there mainly because they're trying to get like human interest stories, but it's still relatively big news because the head of this social media site is going to be playing in this chess tournament. So they're coming to this with the idea this is a fun human interest story. What that was. Melody, just to kind of speed things along, Melody's getting things organized and is acting as visibly as the person in charge, while Spider's team that Lefon Thomas hired is actually running everything. But they have carefully made sure to use Ethan's husband's last name, and it's all last names in the tournament brackets. Until finally it comes to Thompson versus Blackwell. And of course, now all the media attention is on this because Blackwell's made it to the end of the tournament. Minor note, Blackwell has played extremely well, and so has Ethan. But the way that you had it structured is that all the boards are being held in separate locations, and only the boards are being filmed. The actual players aren't being filmed. And so when Ethan steps out, there's a big kind of gasp from a lot of the people in the audience. And Melody notices that Marcus doesn't seem particularly surprised.
Fair enough.
So
maybe bad news, but
he goes to the table, and then he grabs a microphone and says, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to continue to participate because I can't play against this man because he has been banned from playing chess professionally." And
What?
suddenly people are hitting their phones. However,
we'll look very surprised.
you will. However, I'm now going to, on your team's behalf, spend negate 1 ambush.
So is it considered professional?
Because Ethan apparently, cutting away flashback, Ethan started to spread false rumors through various websites and his old contacts with the old Grandmaster circuit to spread this story. Spider managed to get wind of it late in the game and managed to use this as a way to spin the original story and to get that out into the open. So as people start Googling for the Ethan his alleged cheating, they start finding Blackwell's actual cheating scandal. So you spend your negate 1 ambush. Blackwell's ambush is been revealed, but Melody now realizes Blackwell's been playing you too.
I mean, fair enough.
Hey, it works out.
Good news. You no longer have to keep buying off suspicious because that's now happened.
Whatever.
But also,
Ethan's still gonna kick his ass.
Marley gets a notification that security should escort Melody's cover out of the building because she's turned out to be an infiltrator.
Woof. All right.
Now you have the paranoid security plan in place if you want to spend it now to make security second guess themselves.
Okay. I think what they will do for appearances is they'll walk up and appear to be, speaking with Melody and just say, I just need to put you aside for a minute. And kind of like maybe even it's like you could keep her in the area or you could just set her into a room and just be like, got this, just need to look like I'm handling it. And then is gonna call like a little team meeting and be like, boss thinks it's this, but what if we've got the wrong person, and just kind of flip that parent and then be like, all right, here's the deal. We're gonna let her go. We're gonna watch her. I'll watch her. But I need you guys to start poking around the guests and just kind of set them, instead of setting them somewhere random, set them out into the crowd to try and problem solve.
Okay. All right. So now security is completely ineffectual around the tournament. You have completely neutralized security. And I'm going to say that when you escort Melody off, you've been told to escort her out of the chess tournament, which you've done, and conveniently placed her where all the tech is, including the screen projectors.
Sounds good. She'll put her feet up.
We cut to the plan. I assume the plan is going to be A, parasail over with a rope, B, tie a rope, C, Katarina climbs across. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think that's probably our means of entry, unless Katarina had different ideas.
No, that sounds good. We get ropes
right.
and flying. Two of my
Step
favorite things.
Athletics or pilot plus dexterity for Travis to get Elsie across.
I will definitely be relying on athletics.
The crosswinds up here are awful. So you're looking at difficulty 2.
That's all right. I will lick my thumb and hold it up in the air. Maybe
That
pull.
does nothing, but
awesome.
cool.
pull a strand of hair out and throw it up. All right, yeah.
I gotta give you 0 momentum or 0 enhancement.
Okay, so
So
that's 2. It's 3. That is 3, and then I have 2 more dice because I don't have enough dice here. It's total 3 successes.
Okay. You get across with a rope. And you get to the top, and the top is very narrow. There's basically about enough room for you and maybe one other person to stand there. But you do find that there's lots of cool pipes and girders because they're all kind of pointing towards the top, so you can easily tie a rope around one of those. Katarina, you can now climb across. Again, difficulty is 3. Athletics plus dexterity. I notice you have climbing for athletics, so that will give you +1 enhancement to this.
Nice.
And you also have contortionist. So if you wanted to, you could spend one of your inspiration to give yourself another +2 enhancement. But you can wait and see if you need it or not first.
Yeah, let me wait.
And for people who are watching, just know I'm playing a little loose with the gifts here because I don't want to spend the time to look things up. So if my rules are wrong, don't at me.
All right, I have 3 successes.
Okay, that's all you need. So you climb across central London between Big Ben and the skyscraper because that is totally a thing that can happen.
Yeah, nobody even saw us.
Nobody noticed you.
There's
No planes went by,
windows or anything.
no cars, nothing.
Nope.
Nobody notices. Not at
Nope.
all. Again, TV London. So you're there. You're on top of the building. You quickly find these service tunnels. They are conveniently human-sized, and and you make your way through to the 39th floor, where there's a small envelope there with a card in there. Elsie opens up the cards, touches it to the door, uses her thumbprint to get in, and for slight expedience, you make your way through the corridors to where you find Blackwell's office. Now, Blackwell's office has a retinal scanner, as well as a thumbprint scanner and a badge holder. Marley did not mention this to you because it was not on the plans that Marley got.
Can I just basically hotwire the door and make it pop?
You could try. That will be technology plus cunning.
Excellent. And does Miss Fix-It apply?
Yes.
Awesome.
I mean, no, but yes.
Sweet.
It technically doesn't, but I'm saying it does because it sounds cool.
That would be 2 successes.
How many?
2, and then with Miss Fix-It, that makes it 4.
Okay. Would you like to buy off the alarm complication?
I would if I can. That would be great.
Again, you have exactly 1 left. You can use it to buy off the alarm complication if you like.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's buy
Okay.
off that alarm.
So you buy off the alarm. You manage to get your way. Basically, you just straight up put a chunky device on there. A bunch of numbers flash across the screen, and you leap screen. The door opens because reasons. And you make your way in, and you see the office is. It's odd. The floor is perhaps, of course, checkerboard. It's black and white tile. The desk is just like a slab of black marble on a metal frame. The curtains are kind of black and white striped. The wallpaper, it has everything is in black and white tones. There's a giant, there's a big black marble knight sitting on one table. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty cringe.
There is there's no computer on the desk. Instead, when you walk close to the desk, you see that for some reason the marble turns transparent, and there is a screen and keyboard embedded inside the marble.
That's also pretty cringe.
There also is a giant oil painting of Marcus Blackwell behind the desk.
That's a cherry on top.
What would you like to search first?
God dang.
Yeah, you check the painting. I'll check and see if there's any way to interface with this computer, like to plug in a drive or anything like that.
Okay. I'm going to say that Spider's given you a USB dongle for random insert Spider into systems purposes.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. Katarina, you search the painting. You find along the edge there's a button, and the inside edge on the right side, you push it, and the whole thing flips open, and there is a safe behind it.
I found a safe.
Would you like to open said safe?
I will certainly try. Wait, can I check for laser wires
traps?
first?
Larceny plus dexterity. And what we'll say is that there is a +1 complication of trapped, which means that if you don't buy out the complication, you set up a trap. But if you do buy out the complication, you don't set up a trap. Either way, you will open the door if 2 successes. So 2 difficulty +1 complication trapped.
All right, I got 3.
That's enough to do it.
I also have the tripwire thing, but if I already succeeded, I don't. Okay, no.
Yeah, well, you get past it. But if you hadn't succeeded, then you could use that to get past it.
Yeah.
So you punch combination in. You open the safe, and inside you see a black leather folder. Giant safe, 1 black leather folder. Travis, you're now looking at the desk. There does not appear to be an obvious port. However, as you're moving your hands along the desk, you do notice that one piece of the surface of the desk seems to slide slightly, and you slide it back, and there is a recess inside of there, which looks like it has some USB ports.
Excellent. I will plug into said USB port so that Spider has access to download whatever they need to download. And then I'm going to I guess if that starts doing its business on its own, which I had assumed it would.
Yeah. Random text starts scrolling through the screen. Windows open,
I'm gonna just do a quick check around the room, make sure that we're not like being filmed or like I don't see any cameras around or anything like that, and just maybe secure the door until we're done.
Okay. Okay. Katarina, I'm assuming you open the folder.
Yes.
Inside the folder, you find where am I? There it is. It is a file full of blackmail information on various local UK politicians. Conveniently, all the politicians he contributed money to. And just having this is definitely enough to get you what you need. But it's hard copy, it's not digital.
I assume there is a digital copy somewhere. Unless this is all just handwritten. What is it? Is it like
photocopies of documents, printouts of emails, stuff like that?
I mean, I'm definitely
Photos.
gonna stick it down my shirt for later.
Okay.
Taking this with me.
Spider does their thing, and you do. There's a pop-up window that says black_file.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
Can we get into it?
No. Spider's like, I'm having trouble with the password. I need a password, and I can't get past the encryption. Not in the time I need.
I don't suppose it's Velvet Glove.
Velvet Glove. Success.
I bet you this. I bet you this guy's locker combination is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I promise you.
Melody, your cell phone goes off. We get one text. It says incoming.
Well, I guess move a little bit further away from the door.
Okay. This is a Spider's way of telling you that you need to get to the projector because information is coming in now.
Information incoming, not guards incoming.
No. Sorry,
that
information
sounds good.
Not like duck. Someone just
we'll
threw
go
something at you.
plug our phone in through the little mini HDMI port.
Okay, that's totally a thing you can do. Absolutely. So suddenly a whole bunch of files start flooding your phone, and it just starts going up to the screen. And since we're at time, we'll go ahead and narrate the rest of this. Is basically back at the tournament, because of the rotated trap, the reporters there start asking Ethan questions about what actually happens with his last tournament with Marcus. So Ethan starts telling his story, and finally Marcus is like, "Fine, let's prove once and for all. I will beat you here in front of the world." And so they're playing. Marcus has Ethan in check. That's when the screen goes nuts and starts playing video files of all the blackmail that Ethan has, all the information on it. Spider has also watermarked in the bottom right-hand corner the Le Fantôme symbol because Spider's that kind of extra. And it just starts spilling over. And so all of these cameras, all these influencers are seeing this and recording this. And as you are all making your exits, all the files ends. You see the Le Fantôme symbol, and Ethan just looks over, moves a piece, and goes, "Checkmate." Credits roll.
Awesome.
Not cute.
And that's the game.
It was awesome.
Thanks, Eddie. This is a lot of fun.
I'm glad you guys had a good
Yay.
time.
Yeah,
Um,
very much so. Very much so.
I told Travis I had a stat block and like 8 bullet points. So I was definitely
I mean, as
going
is
off your vibes.
tradition.
I'm sorry?
Like, as is tradition, especially for
Yes.
a game with a time limit. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I just know that with heist games, in particular, it all depends on what y'all's plan is. So me coming up with a elaborate plan and then not going with that would have been fun. So I was like, yeah, let's just go with what's going.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah,
So how did
that
we
was a ton
do
of fun.
charity-wise? How did donations end up?
I think we ended up at, last time I looked, we were at 125, which is 25 over our
That's
goal.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Yay.
Nicely done, Onyx Path gang.
Yeah,
everyone
thank
for
you
your
all so
support.
much.
We definitely appreciate everyone donating. Thank you all for coming and donating. And I really hope that Make-A-Wish does well with that. Again, they're a fantastic charity. If we're going to keep doing more of this stuff throughout the month, but also I think that Tiltify link is going to be up regardless. So if you want to keep donating, please do so. We deeply appreciate it. And if you like these kind of heist shenanigans, the Trinity Continuum core rulebook is all you really need. That's pretty much everything we used for this. If you're interested specifically in the Fantom, there's a tasty bit for a couple of bucks. You can get that, or we're going to have the Trinity Player's Guide coming out in the near future, and that will have not only Le Fantom but comprehensive heist rules and also rules for cars and AI and even going to different dimensions and the like. So all sorts of fun, wacky things you can get into. So. I highly recommend you check it out. And once again, thank you all for coming. If folks want to find you all online, where would they go? Start with Millie.
Sure. Hi, Millie and/or Bunnyhearted. You can find me being a doofus 90s anime bunny girl VTuber over at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted or at bunnyheartedvt on most social media platforms because someone else stole Bunnyhearted. So, oh well. The VT is classy anyways, makes me look like I'm a VTuber. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a goober. I'm like a 90s anime villain gone coffee shop owner. I got ridiculous nonsense armor and transformations, a lot of love in my heart, and this is a ton of fun. Thank you so much for having me here. Oh, I'm green screened. Oh my gosh. That's cool. Never mind. I'm going back.
No, can't do it.
I bamboozled something. How am I green screen on
what have
Zoom?
you done?
Zoom
What
doesn't
have you
even have a
done?
green screen set right now.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's-
green forever. This is my
Sorry.
life.
You hulked
Growing
out.
forever.
Yeah.
Bliss, how are you?
Hi, I'm Bliss Steel. You can find me on Instagram at Bliss Steel, and you can also find me on twitch.tv/Bliss Steel. I don't stream on Twitch very often, but sometimes I do, and I think I'm going to start streaming some Baldur's Gate 3 soon.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, and all that stuff. It was a pleasure being here for my first time playing this game and, flying on the seat of my pants, rolling D10s on my phone. So thank you
That's
so
the way to
much
do
for
it.
having me.
How about you, CJ? Okay, near
There we go.
There we go.
Hi, I'm CJ. CJ Starry on everything except for Instagram, where I am CJ.Starry because somebody took CJ Starry.
Ah.
I don't do anything regularly on those channels, but you can find me pretty regularly here on Onyx Path. You can find me on the Initiative Order. You can sometimes find me on Ink and Lyre or Play Weird. So all good channels, great people, and I'm always super happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And how about you, Travis?
My name is Travis. Pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games or playing in them, I'm writing them. I will be next found on this channel tomorrow, I think.
Ooh.
Or I'm doing Trinity Continuum Aeon community content creation channel or creation show. Basically, I work on a project for the Storypath Nexus. I live stream while I'm working. We do Q&As and audience ideas get integrated in. It's a fun little show. And that's tomorrow at 1 Eastern, I believe. And when I'm not over here, I am over on my channel, Plastic Age Plays, where I periodically and occasionally run Out of Season Overlords, or I work on Chainmail Bikini updates. And that you can find those I'm everywhere online at Travis Legs, so you can find links to all those various things on my various socials. I hope to see you around.
Awesome. As for me, basically the best way to find me is my website, pugsteady.com. That's pugstady.com. That's my professional website where all my work on. If you want to give me money directly, buying my stuff at realmsofpugmire.com. That is my creator-owned game of dogs with battle axes and a game that is secretly science fiction. Definitely check that out. And if you're interested in some of just the stuff I think about, you can go to Extra Credits on YouTube, where I do occasionally videos for them. Recently, I did a super long episode with them about the history of Dungeons & Dragons and why the legal ramifications of D&D have shaped the RPG industry in the way it is today. Or you can find me on the Onyx Path Discord, where I'm posting Transformers nerd memes because that is the kind of guy I am. So find us all on these places. Once again, thank you all so much for donating. Thanks to my lovely players for playing. Thank you, Travis, for doing tech. It has been a blast. I hope we could do it again sometime. Catch you all next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.